Here we are. We're back again on the Ozzie Perspective World Tour. What's Alan called it tonight? The in-between thingy show
In between thingy show.
on the Ozzie Perspective World Tour. Oh, that was me again as usual.
No, it was me actually.
And me.
We'd all forgotten to mute.
Yeah.
You hadn't muted the big telly.
Hi Peter.
Do for either.
Who else have we left over in Discord? That's it. Everyone's here. So as usual, we don't have a plan. We seem to be
The plan
working.
is to have no plan.
Yeah.
What's the point in having a plan?
Yeah. Well, I like the idea of us finding a bit of dirt to start with out in the YouTubes. If anyone's had a stream that's talked to a flat earther, and we'll have a look at that for the day. I don't know what I've got in. I know Phuket Word had a live stream there earlier. What has scientism ever done for you?
The roads.
Something.
Well, they brought pace.
Education. Sanitation.
Wine. Oh dear. You can't mention roads because the roads go without saying.
Todd the Science Guy in Blue did a expose on Quantum Eraser, Part 2.
Yeah, but that was a live stream. You'll have to wait for them to do an edit of it because the live streams don't stay up. Well, certainly the last one didn't.
What else have we had?
In fact, that live stream was still going when I got up and had breakfast this morning at 7:30. So they've been going.
Oh, good lord!
Hours.
Jeranism's getting into the California protest, Sacramento, into the lockdown. LEB uploaded Flat Earth FK the lot of views.
Who was that? Ali B?
Yeah, Ali B.
Oh god, that one.
What else have we had?
Are you planning on doing anything tomorrow, Terry?
Tomorrow night, yeah.
Okay.
A little bit on our ancient tech stuff if we can.
Just don't know when to set my premiere for.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Well, any time except for now. This time of night tomorrow, or your morning.
Yeah.
No, I'll leave it till later on.
Yeah, leave it later for the day. Well, then I'll be asleep by then.
I might do it before the pub quiz. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be asleep.
Well finished for that.
That's usually when I'm asleep. I do sleep, sometimes.
Sometimes.
Only Jose. That's the only other one I've had here.
Oh, Jose's, good grief! That just went on and on and on, and it was Rack Your Life and his.
I gave up yesterday.
And the after show.
No one debate with anyone on Jose.
No.
Stewie said play John's latest upload. Yeah, I'll grab that from over on Discord, Stewie. It should be over there.
Yeah, I mean, Jose's just kept going. I mean, I dropped out, went off, watched some telly, had something to eat, had a shower, came back in, and they were still going at it, and it was old Rack Your Life again. Him and his. I can't discuss that because that my religion. It goes against my religion. He said that at one point in Jose's stream. I asked him something. He says, "No, I can't answer that." I'm trying to think what the bloody hell I asked him there. But it was basically him asking very strange questions, and the Bible and stuff for hours. And I'm sure he's just trolling.
Well, I can't.
What's the moon? I don't know.
Going back a day ago. That's yesterday's stuff. I've got here.
Simon Dan. Oh no, that's not dirt.
No, this is. I've got dirt. I found some dirt. I've got
I don't have any derp. I don't watch any. I wait for
I've
you
got-
lot to watch it and then I'll.
I got Phuket word. Flat Earth evidence of rock formation in single generation. So we'll watch that. Only goes
Really?
for it goes for 8 minutes. So that's enough.
In a
That's
single
a bit of dirt.
generation. That's impressive.
Yeah, that's a bit of dirt for us. Probably need face palm, probably stuff for this guy.
Right, which idiot is this?
Phuket word.
Well, actually, his logo is all he needs to do now. It's not Phuket anymore, is it? I believe it's Portishead.
Portishead word. Don't have quite the same ring.
No, but I think that's where he's come back to, because he's come back over here for the sake of his kids, hasn't he?
Yeah, I heard he came back.
I don't know.
Came back home.
He couldn't get citizenship in Thailand because obviously over in Thailand he's Johnny Foreigner, and they don't do that sort of thing. And he did apparently. I've heard a bit of a live stream where he was explaining this to somebody, and I think he's basically come over here for his kids' sake rather than.
But he only just not long came over here before this Corona thing. It was before Christmas.
Yeah.
Or New Year.
But I think he's come back here permanently, or certainly, as long as he needs to for the sake of his children.
I assumed he was married to a Thai, and that's why he was over.
That's spelt with an F. You spelled it wrong.
The correct pronunciation is Phuket.
I thought it was Phuket.
No, I think it's Phuket.
It's fuckwit word.
No, we know it's spelled with
the real place.
He's a fuckwit.
I thought it was Phuket.
Just looking up pronunciation.
When people go on holiday, they say they're going to Phuket. But I don't know.
Nah, you're thinking of Mrs. Bouquet. Oh. See how long we last before we have to pause it.
Yeah.
Hello,
well, let's give it a go.
Pause.
Looking at this.
Yeah,
that was quick.
I'll do.
Yeah,
I didn't even understand a word he just said. Just for that, I'm going to rewind it now.
Oh, you rum bugger.
Hello, Flat Earth Researchers. Looking at this mixture of.
I think it was a bit of an audio problem at the time.
That has probably been here, I don't know, let's say 100 years on it. This is an old Masonic fishing town in Portishead. Let me turn this around.
Masonic
Jesus Christ, what's that got to do with the price of fish?
Is he still in Portishead?
I wish these flat earthers would use a decent camera or whatever they're using.
So what we have here is a wall that was built in recent times, and this, which was earth at one point, because you can see that it's broken off here on this kind of this edge. We are down here at Portishead. Okay, hi, Stashman. Yeah, so we have this wall. This is where a power station was in the past, and okay, so we're looking along the Severn Estuary, and what we have here is obviously earth that this forest is made up of, and it's broken off here, and of course we've got it on either side of this wall. Yeah. But this is now solid rock. Yeah. Okay, you can see where
Stop
it's
saying
splurged over the wall there. When I first noticed it, I'll try and get a wider view of this.
I thought it was somebody here. It's actually him making the noise. I thought somebody had.
Yeah, it's him walking on that gravel, I think.
Oh, is that what it was? I thought somebody had an open mic here, and I'm going, well, who's making that noise?
No, nothing was lighting up.
Yeah.
But he did call Portishead a Masonic fishing town, which is quite clever because it's recorded back to Roman times. I didn't know the Romans were Masons.
Okay.
which is quite
You
clever.
can see
It's also
really
recorded in the
clearly
video.
here how these two massive rocks here were just earth that's fallen away over time. You can see the tree there. It's all the
What's he saying? The Earth is rock.
Yeah, he's saying that the dirt has now magically become rock. So he's completely missing the point that actually, they're rocks.
And the wall was built around the rocks.
Yeah, and at some point,
and gravity has moved them.
And it looks like, because I think he's very carefully not panning up, that I think this wall is probably at the base of a cliff or something.
Yeah, it looks like a bit of a hill there. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
certainly something very steep that's no doubt got rocks in it, and some of these rocks have dislodged and come loose, as they have a habit of doing. But I think he's trying to imply that the dirt that you can see there has somehow compacted into rock over a very short period of time. I could be wrong.
the same kind of. I mean, that's earth that's turning into rock, but the
Earth's turning into
point
rock.
is that obviously
Earth turns to rocks.
Okay. Well, it does. It can do eventually, but it takes
millions and millions of years.
It takes a little while,
and it only turns into sedimentary rock.
Correct. that's the only rock that dirt can form into.
Yeah.
This at some time was just earth, and it's oozed. You can see generation or so, and this at one point was mud, fell on the wall.
Oh, where you go?
Hi, FPV Angel, and voila.
So mud can take the shape of a rock.
Tell you what's this video called?
It can also take the shape of a brick.
What's this video called?
That's clever.
Flat Earth evidence of rock formation in single generation.
Single generation, okay.
So in let's say 100, maybe maximum 200 years. Hey, give it 3 or 4. We have mud that has transformed into rock. And of course, why would that be? Because we have water with all these minerals soaking into the rock. And the rock of this wall becomes almost indistinct with the mud that is surely turned to rock in a very short space of time.
If you just like to pause that for a moment, Terry.
this is hurting my brain. This one.
Right. Moving my iPad over there.
Portishead is in North Somerset. Now this is an area of the UK that's quite hilly, and they're known as the Mendips. Now the Mendip Hills are part of the Upper Devonian system that was formed 385 to 359 million years ago, and actually, so typical of the area is this rock. It's actually called the Portishead Formation, and it's old red sandstone. So he's pointing at rocks that could be getting on for 385 million years old, and saying, "Oh, this is Earth that's compressed over the course of one generation." I mean, this is a very famous area for going fossil hunting.
Yeah, that's right.
But also too, what compressed those rocks that are just sitting on the surface?
The water.
Oh, just clearly just the sea. Yeah.
No, he said the water from the ocean can transform the mud into a rock.
The water. The water.
Wasn't he talking about compression? I don't know. I wasn't really listening.
No, he didn't mention the compression.
I do like his new little watermark at the bottom right there, though. Just so you know who you're listening to.
Everyone's what to steal.
Like you could be in any doubt whatsoever.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Rosette. Sorry, I can't. Glasses are rosette tinted. Hi, FPV Angel. Hi, Zoo Scott. Yeah. What do you think? It just struck me that, I mean, here we are faced with, modern rock, and
modern rock that was bricks.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Modern rocks are bricks. Okay.
So it would seem.
what might at first appear to be ancient rock, but it's not. It's modern rock because it's turned from mud to stone in a very short space of time. Yeah. Well, without curve.
Is he going to address the rest of the rock formations around that area, or no?
And I don't think he's going to walk over to the actual cliff face there and look at the rock strata there to see if it's the same.
Yeah.
And get a little shovel out and dig it and say, look, this is mud here, and tap there and go, look, this is turned to rock.
Might even find like shells and things like that in there. Yeah.
So I thought that was a good little talking point.
That.
And it's kind of it's right in front of your eyes. It's obvious that. Hi, Orbs Ram. Hey, good to see you, man. And nice uploads recently. And it's just curious, isn't it, that we can have an Earth that is formed in a very short space of time. We are told by the experts that it takes millions and millions of years. Yeah.
Well, yes, it's because it does.
Hey, Flat Earth Bear. Hey, good. I'm glad you could come in on the live stream, my man.
I wonder if there is I wonder if there is any fossils.
I was just going to say that, Terry. Yeah.
I wonder if there's any fossils.
Well, that's what I was thinking in the cliff.
I'd laugh if he went over and there was a dinosaur sticking at it or something.
Well, I'm just having a quick look at the UK Fossils Network, and it could well be that he's at a place in Portishead called Battery Point, and they find fossilised corals and crinoids, and at some places you can find fossilised fish. I don't think you certainly won't find anything much larger, because you are talking sort of 350 to 380 million years ago, and that you're not going to find big stuff in there because it wasn't really.
No, you just find crustaceans and fossils, that sort of invertebrates.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
Yeah, or types of clams or whatever the real like mollusks or whatever.
That's it, because all of this stuff was laid down by
on the bottom of the sea floor at the time when it was formed. All this stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah, you ain't going to go digging in there and find a T-Rex or anything like that.
No. Plain Ranger, hi. Yeah, it is very interesting, isn't it? And of course, this is the kind of thing you just walk by all the time, but they're just obviously stood here contemplating, and this is solid. It wasn't, it wasn't cement.
Excuse me.
Yeah, same as this over here. I don't want to go there because then I'm worried the signal might get cut off. Yeah. But this is a really interesting area, because Bristol, Clifton, up, the River Severn, it's really, really muddy. And so, this is a city that's full of mud flood evidence with houses that have got,
oh, Jesus
Christ. Underground.
He didn't just go to the mud flood.
Mud flood evidence, yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's why houses in England have got a basement, because that was the first floor, and then they built the next floor up.
yeah, and then the mud floods came through, so they just built on top of it and made a basement.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we'll call a lounge room now a basement, kids. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's where we're going to put our water heaters and stuff, and the pool table.
And your mother-in-law.
They go up these very steep hills. So, food for thought, eh? I think obviously welcome any comments and feedback, but it appears to me that and you look around and whether it's you look at coal and you look at things that that could be fossilized trees. I mean, all this stuff just I mean, I was noticing I've been lost the connection. Okay. So Scott, hey, okay, angry man. Oh, hang on, what's that? Axtimer, okay. Yeah. So that's all really. Wanted to share that with you. And again, you know, any trip to anywhere to look at nature makes us realise that the Earth is definitely level. Also interesting here is right now.
He has to throw that. He has to throw things
Yeah,
in that have got nothing to do with
I
what
mean,
he was doing in the first
That
place.
whole thing was just doing my head in. Like, what point is he trying to make? You know, and he just tries to wrap it up that it's level.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So there's some rocks, well, whatever you would call them. I don't think they're technically rocks, but they're next to some bricks. So what?
No, the bricks are actually rocks
not
too.
Bricks, they're modern rocks.
They're the modern rocks.
Oh
Rich.
yeah, well that's true.
Modern
Yeah,
rocks.
You've got to get it right, Rich.
sorry. Modern rocks are rectangular in shape.
Yeah.
Yes, strangely uniform in profile, almost as if they're
Designed to be stacked on.
Yeah.
The creator.
Intelligent design.
No, that was from the intelligent design of the creator.
But did you see that there's another section there where there was just some normal rocks cemented together as well?
Yeah.
So, but he didn't bring that up.
So it's almost
I don't know what his point is.
Reproduced a brick wall and then cemented some loose rocks on the top. Wow. Isn't nature?
I wonder what you think of dry stone walls.
But I also wonder if there's a house at the top of that, you know, and the people that have owned the property might have done that themselves to give them a little cove sort of thing, you know, when the tide comes in or whatever.
Mm.
Like, is it actually out in nature or is he trespassing?
Oh no, but out in nature, that's the beach.
Going by the look of it, what was done, it looks like it was to stop erosion from the tides coming in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. You know, just make a little cove there. So, well, when I was in Vanuatu, they did the same thing, but that was with coral rock. You know, and you don't say, "Ooh, gee, look at this." I mean, coral's millions of years old as well.
Hmm.
Or,
Yes,
Okay.
I've got some fossilised coral that I actually found in the gravel in my garden.
Okay.
The moon
I've got a whole
causes
load of fossils that I pulled out of that.
the tides if you're going to assume a heliocentric model. However, I don't see that there's any alleged movement of the Earth and the Moon around each other that would make the tides do this. You see, at the moment today, because it's pretty much full moon, when the sun, basically last night when the sun was setting over there, the moon was rising just over there, almost full. And so at this particular time of month, we have a very, very low tide and a very, very high tide. We have these peaks and troughs that are back again. I won't keep this going long. Yeah. So,
Good.
oh dear. Okay. This is going to be, we've got a bad connection. So anyway, my evidence of rock formations in a very short space of time that originated as Earth. And we can see how that all just tumbled down as chunks of Earth and became rock in a very short space of time.
Oh,
Molding in,
God,
melding in.
Help.
This.
my evidence
All right,
of rock.
take it easy, everyone.
Rock.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, that's it.
Take care. Speak soon.
Well, that is very difficult to argue against, that he has evidence of rocks, because there they are. Rocks.
Yeah, they're rocks.
Rock.
Can we see the comments, Terry?
Now, Nick does have a habit of deleted comments. Let me just see if I can find any that came from that video.
No forests on the flat Earth. I think the doco is called Interesting Stuff.
No, so far only one comment has been deleted from that, and I don't think he deleted it.
I personally sway towards the Earth having been carved by a great technological being, giant lasers and all that stuff. It's more plausible to me than a big bang from nothing. I mean, let's face it, we're pretty sure we ain't living in a giant spaceship. Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Giant freaking lasers. Were they mounted on the heads of sharks? Sharks.
Well, there's a sensible one. To me, they look like boulders that are broken away from the main body of rock. Hey.
Yes, correct.
What? Something that's logical and more factual? No,
Yes.
we can't have that.
Oh, hang on. Look. Oh, this is good. There is nothing to suggest that soil can lithify in a few hundred years. Oh, a lot. I haven't seen that word in a long time. Otherwise, we'd see those mud flats as solids. If you think rocks lithify in a few hundred years, then you should maybe consider the numerous layers of different composition and content. No, we can't spell. Kudos is spelled with a K.
Okay.
Kudos to you for thinking outside the box, but the answer is not always on the outside. Yes, I used to work for the company I worked for making plant rooms. Our motto was thinking inside the box, because we were basically building boxes with lots of kit inside it. Yeah, there's no point thinking outside of the box if you're just thinking complete gobbledygook.
I'd want to see evidence of thinking inside the box before he started thinking outside of it.
The evidence of thinking.
Another sensible one.
Oh yeah, lithify. That's a good word. Transform a sediment or other material into stone.
I wonder if it's solid inside as well or still soft in the centre. Seen some of this around Sydney Harbour. Oh dear.
What you mean, like it's like an armadillo?
Yep.
Crunchy on the outside. What was that a bloody advert for? Come on, what?
I thought that'd be like a chocolate. Well, they like it sound like a chocolate, hard on the outside, soft on the inside.
Chocolate, I can't think what it was, and it had Harry Enfield in it. Armadillo.
Oh
God, what was it?
no, can't think.
Soft on the inside and crunchy on the outside. Because that's what he comes up and he says, what's soft on the inside and crunchy on the outside? The old boy goes, armadillo. Oh, God. Somebody in Peanut Gallery will remember it for me because I can't. This is in fact a building that was hit by extreme heat. The brick was melted by such high heat that it turned to stone. This event was worldwide, and the buildings were constructed by the. Oh God, the
You were going on
it. He said the T word.
Yes, the T word. That's it. It's in capital T.
And I bet Phuket Word loved that. I bet he's all over that. Oh, thanks for. Oh yeah, I'll maybe look into the age of the wall. Yeah, you do that, mate. You see how old that wall actually is. That one made of those naturally occurring brick-like rocks.
Mm.
Right, almighty. How can molten rock ooze from beneath the surface and form structures such as these? It can't. It's the answer to that. The problem you have with some sedimentary rocks is it can look particularly artificial when they start to get worn away, and because they are laid down quite often in such neat layers, you don't often see straight lines in nature, but you do when you look at layers of sedimentary rock. And I think that's where a lot of these people are getting, shall we be generous and say, confused.
Mm.
Yeah, and then when it gets exposed and gets eroded, I'm sure to certain people it can look, I don't know, man-made, artificial, whatever you want to call it. But
Oh dear.
Well, I'm not going to go through all of them.
No, I think that's just a bit done anyway.
Yeah. You're going to get equally deluded people who think he's doing wonderful work and agree with him, and then you're going to get people who are just going to come in and say, "You're wrong."
The world was so beautiful, all these incredible buildings of giants and advanced people.
You look at the one underneath. Plasma struck from the last reset.
Oh, look, and
Plasma mud flood.
there's Martin Leakey. Yay!
Oh, that's so cool, Nick. No.
Mr. No, that can't possibly be the Starlink satellites. Don't
Yeah.
think it's the elite all getting the hell out of Dodge. Yeah, that Martin Leakey.
They are rocks exposed by coastal weathering.
Yep.
That's Nicky saying.
Oh no.
Wait a minute. Sure, they've been weathered and possibly eroded at the same time as turning to stone.
But they were clearly
Hey?
once not so solid.
How could it be
And-
turned into stone after it's been weathered and eroded? So it had to have been stone in the first place. Because you can't erode dirt in that way.
Actually,
Like
that's not a bad idea. That might be the only way coping with such idiocy. Let's all get stoned.
that's all there was.
Oh dear, what an absolute numpty.
Oh, that was my bit of dirt.
And yes,
Oh,
Irish
yeah.
Steve, he did mention sunset. And if you go back to one of his earlier videos where he's showing a sunrise on a flat Earth, what he actually omitted to film was the moment when the sun appears from behind the horizon. His film starts once the sun has risen. And says, look, see, this is sunrise on a flat Earth. Yeah, you didn't film the bit where it actually appears from behind the horizon. I wonder why. He's so full of it.
Yeah, where there is actually an obstruction
Yes.
that they can't
Yep.
explain.
But remember, this is the guy with the magically disappearing lighter.
Oh, Andrea says Rumpus had another go in Ranties today
Why does he keep going on there? What's the point?
because the only place he can get on.
What, live or in the
Just like-
text channel?
No, I think he went on live. If he just learned how to talk to people, he might get on
Yeah.
a damn sight better.
Yeah.
Live.
Reggie might not Reggie, sorry. Rumpus. Are you talking about Rumpus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ranties?
Yeah.
He might be just lonely.
Not that bloody lonely. That's desperation, that is. You'd be better off talking to a brick wall. You get more cogent answers out of it.
With Pete Shea, Page, Rude Earther, and Gleam. Oh, dear.
Oh. Oh.
That
Now,
would have been
rumour
fun.
has it they were going to play Stingray's video about Rude Earth's
Oh, right, yeah.
calculations of those ships. I don't know whether they did because I haven't gone and looked, because watching any of Ranty's streams is painful to say the least, because it's a seething cesspit, his hangouts. They're just...
I'm guessing Andrea was there. What did they talk about?
But Stingray's analysis of that video is absolutely spot on. That sounded like Gigantor.
I was going to say, yeah. Is he back?
Yeah,
No,
he had
it's
another
all-
one, but it went for 26 minutes.
That's exactly what I thought. Like
Yeah, what has scientism ever done for you?
I don't know. What
Scientism turned a flat Earth into a spinning space ball. The culture of scientism has influenced every aspect of our lives to become beliefs in models and have no basis in our actual reality.
Right.
right.
We don't need to watch
And
the
like I
video,
said
just
before,
read his
Internet, YouTube. You know,
bullshit. Why watch his video when you just got all that written
he,
there?
he should just try and answer his own question before anyone tries to say anything to him. Just get him to answer his own questions.
Oh dear.
Andrea says only for the last bit. And once Paige opened her mouth, I left the stream.
Oh, she is a particularly vile and rancid individual. Mind you, they all are. All of the people, all of the regulars he has on his panel are just, words fail me. Well, words that I can use in here anyway.
And how the moderation situation's going on because he deranged a lot
Well,
and
yeah,
unlocked everybody.
that highlighted half the problem he had. The people in his side chats who had spammers. As soon as one of us went in there and said anything at all, they wouldn't just get muted; they'd get banned.
Yeah. But he's unbanned everybody. He put a tweet out or something the other day.
But it's not the place you want to go and sort of take part or listen to.
Nope.
It's awful. And he still just sits back and lets them get on with it. I think I would go so far to say that in some regards it's worse than Oakley's stream because he has a narrative and he controls it quite tightly, whereas Ranty just seems to go, right, there you go, do what you want, say what you want, I'll just leave you to it and I'll interrupt you when there's a super chat. Off you go.
Oh, don't mention Ranty and super chats now.
Oops. Yeah, that's a strange situation.
Yep.
Because I've seen his streams previously where he seems to get lots and lots of super chats of an evening, and I just I can't believe that there's that many gullible people out there who think he's doing a cracking job. He's doing a cracking job, not improving the flat earth though. And people will hit him up with 100, 200, 500.
That Rumpus has the body of science behind.
Oh no.
Oh,
I don't know.
God.
Was that Pete's
it
show?
was a dodo.
Or was it
Yeah.
Dodo? The
Sure,
Dodo.
Fez. Oh, yeah,
Oh, that was the
Fez.
Dodo.
Yes, that was
I was
the dodo.
gonna. He's got something going here to represent. What's he?
Sean G, I believe, is looking to do a debate with Chris Matt, aka Babs, and he's looking at getting Pete to moderate it.
Oh dear God.
I know.
I want to play a couple of minutes of this to see what the Dodo's got wrong again.
Okay.
Looks like
At least
go
you've
for
warned
it.
us.
Yeah, I'm just looking at some display. I like their presentations, how they get things wrong. What she's done here. It's on Ranty's show. I don't want to go back too far.
Okay, listen. Here we go.
Here we have a simple
So,
situation
well,
where
hang on,
hey,
before
Rumpus,
you-
what do you think of the Corona hoax?
Just a minute. I'll tell you what. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'll allow. 10 minutes of Rumpus showing his diagram. We're talking to Gleam, and then I don't want any more. I don't want any more of that. Let's get into something else because I'm sick of seeing these images. So let's.
It should only take me about.
Was Rumpus going to be doing that? Who did this thing?
Gonna be boring the pants off everyone.
Yeah. You see, these idiots don't like diagrams like that because when you do an elevation or what they call an orthographic view, it removes perspective. You can't do an elevation or a section like that and include perspective. It just doesn't work. And so straight away, when you show something like that, you remove perspective, and they hate that because perspective confuses everything, and that's what they love. So as soon as Rumpus gets out one of his diagrams like that, they all go ape.
What this is?
Or anything. So why would you not expect you to always have a limit? Let's say you were an ant with your camera and there was that lump, and that lump could be a build-up of a hill that creates a false horizon higher than the actual physical horizon.
And I have to agree with you. In a lot of observations, yes, there's things that depends how high they are. If they are below, if they are above the camera a little bit, it will block you that same distance or below. But if the camera is above those bumps, That will not happen, Glim. And we have very high, above, tall, higher observations that is going to be out of the equations, because if we got a 2-foot wave and the camera is 100 foot high, that 2-foot wave is going to do nothing to hide the bottom of the other side.
I do disagree. I do actually disagree, and I'll tell you why.
Geometrically,
It
you
cannot.
cannot any paper.
I disagree with you geometrically. I disagree.
Jose, let him speak, man. Shut up.
I do disagree with you geometrically, because you're thinking about a 2-foot wave at your feet. Now, what actually happens is, as you look off into the distance, the bottom of objects appear to rise up. Can I share my screen, please, Randy?
Sure.
Is that okay? I've been working on something, and it just. Okay, so this is your standard orthographic view. Can everyone see that?
This new kind of.
Yeah, just done today. Yeah, but it's all based off of all previous work that I've been doing. So if I
we'll
zoom,
call it Rumpus Vision. We'll call it Rumpus Vision.
Well, either way, this is the geometric thing that you're on about. So I'm trying to remove perspective from this, but still tell you that a 2-foot wave can hide stuff, even no matter if you're 100 foot up.
No. I disagree, but let me see.
Yeah, sure. So either way, we got the person. I'm sure you'll agree with all of this. This is a standard thing where you've got your angle of view. Okay, you have your central line of sight, which is 6 foot. How I've done this in Excel is I've put it as 1 centimeter. So this is 6 centimeters, this green line. That's just for show that. But this green line is 6 centimeters. So that's 6 feet.
Is that green?
Yeah, it is. Is that
It's
Carlos?
bound to be stupid then.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Why has he done this in Excel? This
Anyway,
absolute
so we got the
knowledge and
protractor.
science hasn't got AutoCAD.
Yeah, I know. He's only just drawn it. Oh yeah, well you can draw it there.
And if you can see what there is, and I've got this basically from it's further up. Sorry, I've got this from a Perspective website which shows it like this. So I'm recreating this, but I'm actually working from a flat Earth point of view. But just to show you what happens, and I'm sure you agree, and I'm sure this is basic simpleness.
So you're presuming the shape of the Earth before you do your demonstration.
Yeah, he's presumed a flat Earth.
And then
he's not a flat earther.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Why wouldn't you do it as to what you observe?
Well, because
with no bias.
He's a flat earther who hates being labelled a flat earther, so he's not a flat earther.
Okay. But I'll look at this diagram as if I'm a flat earther. If the Earth is flat.
Yes, yeah.
If we've got an object here, this is actually 4 times the size. Yep, so that's 4 times 6 foot. Now, I've done that for a reason, just so I could get an unequal amount of compression from the top and the bottom. But if you can see, if I bring him right up close, like this was a building or a lighthouse or something, the actual angle of view goes out of your circle of view, they call it. And what this is this is
against the object. That circle got to go against the object from top to bottom.
No, this is it. What it is when
circle,
hang on.
Red circle, the bottom of the red circle got to be against the bottom of the green thing. The top of the red circle is got to be in the top of the green thing. So on and on as you move it away, Glim.
No.
Jose, that's a representation of a human's field of view, Jose. I think that's a representation.
Yeah, he's telling you that's the limitation, man.
No,
Okay,
you got it wrong.
yeah.
Look, let me explain. Sorry, when you look out over to a horizon, you never see your toes. Yeah. So this line here at 45 degrees down is where your field of view starts from. So if you're looking dead out 90 degrees across the Earth, parallel with the Earth, you will never see your toes. You will always have a cutoff point that goes to a certain point of the ground. And this is where if you took a photo, this would be your photo. And then this angular size of the object, if you can see the top and the bottom line, and this isn't perfect, this is done in Excel. I mean, it's not a 3D package or anything, but if you look here, this is its angular size. So from here to here. Let me actually put it back so it fits on the protractor and in the field of view. So if you look here now, the actual angular size from here to there would be, if you counted the degrees, right there. Okay? So that would be its angular size. But what I was talking about, in the further with distance it goes, the more up on the horizon it appears, because your horizon appears to rise up. You see here, that is the bottom. So if you're looking, pretend this is now looking at a horizon line, that blue line, and you're looking forward, the building would start here and it would be this big. Yeah? So that would be the perspective view.
Yeah, but I mean,
I have a question when you're ready.
I either gotta look at this. So I gotta look at it either orthographically or perspective.
This is
don't try to perspective in an orthographic view. It's not gonna work with me. I'm sorry.
This
You
is
explain it.
This is orthographic. No perspective.
You explain it.
Gleam, I have a question when you're ready.
Carlos, I want to engage with you. You explaining this to people. I'm not interested in this garbage. You either show it to me orthographic, try to show me perspective on an orthographic view. And you know what? Thank you very much, Panty, for the invite, but I got to feed the dogs. So see you later. Boom.
Gleam,
Gleam, I have a question.
Say something?
Okay.
No, Carlos, wait a minute. Please, Carlos, I'll just be 1 second. I just want to say something to you, Gleam.
Okay.
By the way, you are king.
You are king.
No, you are king, because what you did there corresponds with a great argument about light and information. If you look at it as a computer, as the information you're getting, but I won't go any deeper anyway, but honestly, Gleam, you just blew my mind, my friend. You just opened up a door. You just opened up a problem
I've been
trying to argue. Yeah. Now you've given me that diagram. I'm going to record the diagram so I can give a wee presentation.
Contact me, Ali.
Awesome.
You know, I'll give you whatever you need.
Gleam, for all of your efforts.
That's amazing.
For all of your efforts, Gleam, have you?
Yeah, that was.
For all of your efforts, Gleam, have you had
Hold on. Let's just do a quick mic check, please, because we've joined by 2 more guests. We've got Paige and we've got Carlos. So, Paige, can you just do a quick mic check, please?
Yeah, g'day, Renty. Hi, everyone.
G'day, coming through good. And Carlos?
G'day, Paige.
G'day.
Yeah, my
Mac,
yeah. Check, hello.
Yeah, coming through good.
Well, I don't know if they present anymore after that.
We didn't present bugger all anyway.
That was
it. Let's go try and prove how a 2-foot wave would hide things.
Yeah, I think you're getting onto it a bit more.
Yeah, that was pretty confusing.
6 foot, 3 foot. Yeah. A 2-foot wave is going to hide would appear here on your photograph. So your floor would appear to rise up here, and then your horizon would be up here, and it would appear there. If I've got something here, that's going to be blocked by this thing, isn't it? So that's easily geometrically blocked.
If it is
now,
if it is smaller.
Yeah. Now listen, if I double the size of this and move it double the distance, it's still going to block it same way.
Yeah. Wait, Gleam. Sorry, say that once more. I don't quite get the point. What
let me insert a little box or something.
He's showing how a small object can block something on a flat line.
If I now take that object right out, so you can actually see what happens. You obviously see there that it had a bit of the horizon line there. But if I take this object right the way out now and then zoom back into the angle, you can see it's right on the horizon line. It's tiny now because obviously the angular size has gone. But now if you put an object just behind this, and it takes me ages to link up all these lines, so I'm not going to do the lines. But if I just put a little square, here, then that's going to completely hide that behind it. Yeah. Now,
obviously,
if we say that it's this big, yeah, a ship, and this is a wave. Now put the ship, yeah, because we're only seeing up to this wave. This wave is our horizon. Yeah, now put the ship here, and it's literally half the ship's missing because of that 3 foot wave.
It's obvious.
Simply it.
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah.
It would never be completely occluded, would it?
Yeah, of course it was.
So sorry, he's banging on about like objects and things like that, and where they are on the horizon or everything. And his whole theory about why this happens never actually addresses why there's a horizon in the first place.
No.
The obvious mistake he's making is he's incorporating perspective into an orthographic view.
You can't.
Yeah, well,
He's an absolute idiot.
They brought that up, you know.
Yeah.
You can't have perspective in an orthographic view.
No.
It's impossible. You can't. That is the whole point of drawing things orthographically.
Jose made that pretty clear, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no matter how far away you move that building, it's not going to shrink in size in an orthographic view.
Nope. Never. That 2 foot wave is going to hide 2 foot. And nothing rises to eye level because you're always looking down at the horizon. You have to be, because otherwise parallel lines are crossed and then they're not parallel. But this is Gleam's whole thing. Everything is due to perspective. Everything we see, he tries to explain by using perspective because he doesn't understand how it works.
Well, he should just rotate that view.
He pretends that he doesn't understand.
To make a perspective.
I was having more fun reading it, trying to read the side chat. Trolls versus Trolls was trolling well.
Was he?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many people have done this view for the perspective view for the same image that we're looking at it like that in the other way to show us how things.
I don't know.
I mean, talking personally, I know exactly how orthographic views work because I've been drawing them for over 30 bloody years. There is no perspective.
Are you there, Matt?
Mad lurking over in Discord.
I think it must be.
Yeah.
He's gone quiet.
I did hear him.
Yeah.
I heard that. I don't know.
Sorry, my headphones keep cutting out.
Oh, you're there.
Oh, any excuse is better than none.
What's the time?
About 20 past 11.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I'm going to get my mother's shopping at 12.
Sorry, I'm in the kitchen.
I'm back.
Yeah, this is an old tactic of Gleam's. Everything is due to perspective. And yeah, he's trying to show perspective in an orthographic elevation, and that's impossible.
Yeah, I was trying to work out how did the blue building looking thing get smaller when he moved it to the right. I'm thinking it doesn't get smaller in that view.
No. But this is why you also don't see scale drawings of the solar system.
Yeah.
Because the distances are too great. You know, he can move that blue block to the right as much as he wants. It will not decrease in size.
Yes, it did. He zoomed out.
That means everything decreased in size. But that's why you don't draw the solar system to scale, because if you zoom out and if you draw the sun and all the planets to scale, and you put them at the same distance to scale, and then zoom out, you will see a dot for the sun, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Because I've seen blue do it in AutoCAD. I could do it in AutoCAD very easily, but when you zoom out to encompass everything, you won't see a thing.
I don't think a lot of these flurfers know what that S word is.
What, scale?
I'd like to see how
scale.
a 2 foot wave. How's a 2 foot wave going to block a 100-foot building?
On the flat Earth, impossible. However, there doesn't need to be any wave at all for that building to get obscured on our world if it's far enough away.
No.
You don't need a bloody
quite
right.
No.
It could be a nice calm flat sea and it will still get obscured eventually because it's too far over the curve.
Oh, we've got a lighthouse now.
No.
Well, why do they build them so tall, I wonder?
I've got a short lighthouse in Wollongong.
Yeah, but what's it built on?
It's not very high.
Yeah, no, I mean the ground is built on.
Yeah, it's not that high off the ground either. It's just built on the breakwater. Actually, I may have a picture of it floating around.
No Alan today.
No, he's doing a bit of homework and he said it's okay if I just run this on me.
Ah.
He wants to redo his presentation. I think his photography one he was doing. He do that. Said he made a big boo boo in it, and he wants to correct it.
Fair enough.
Bear with me, I'll find it. I could Google it probably quicker, but I thought I had an image. Thought I might have had the image just sitting in my images folder. I'm gonna have to tidy up my. Sure, I've got it hidden. No, not in that.
You've put it somewhere safe, haven't you?
It's in one of these pictures folder. I haven't labelled. I'm so lazy that way. I put the pictures into the folder and I add another folder and I go, oh, yeah, more pictures.
Yeah.
Here we go. That's.
Yeah, we used to have a running joke in the workshop back on the farm where all the mates would come over work on their motorbikes, and if they was looking for a bit, would say, "Yeah, it's in the box marked RD bits," because they all were.
See, we had to, like back in when Wollongong was first being built. I don't think that's the original breakwater. The breakwater that lighthouse is sitting on, not that high.
No, it's not very high.
For its time, yeah.
All that rubble there, Terry, was your first attempt at making a lighthouse, and it fell over.
Okay. Didn't think of that.
Man-made rocks.
Yeah,
Modern
no,
rocks.
No, they're
They said,
natural.
"Oh, I'm about to build the castle in the swamp."
They're natural rock.
Oh yeah, you can tell it's natural because it's so square cut.
Yeah, and it's got a loop in them as well, so you can pick them up.
Oh, that's definitely that.
Yeah, so you lift them up and move
that's
around.
fossilised iron.
Yeah. That just happened to be extruded into the shape of a loop.
Yeah.
Totally.
Ancient aliens should go there and make it the new Puma Punku.
I see you got obligatory thumbs down, Terry.
Oh, did I? Oh, that a big lady mucking around. Here we go. That's what I was.
Oh yeah. Still not very high though, is it? Really?
No.
When you look at it, you think it'd be a.
No, it's because it's flatter down near the water.
Wow, there's hardly any houses there. A long time ago, before any houses got built. Well, it was only probably for the ships coming down the coast, because unless they wouldn't have been coming from New Zealand. They would have been just more coming up and down the coast from Sydney to here and then down the coast to Melbourne and to Hobart. Can't see the dates on that one. It's only a very low. Oh, the newer one's actually up on top of the promontory where my mouse is.
When you actually look at a map of that bit of the coast, it starts making sense.
Yeah.
The breakwater lighthouse really is just protecting the breakwater in that immediate area. You then got Wollongong Head Lighthouse, which I'm assuming is much taller.
Yeah, it's up on top of the promontory area behind it. I'll show you that in a minute. That was back in the day, the original. Probably had a. I can't see it on that one either. They had rail going down there and everything. That's Mount St Thomas in the background. I can't remember. Back in the horse and buggy days. I wonder if that's before the mud flood.
Yeah, I can see the breakwater lighthouse is just covering the breakwater, not much else. So I don't suppose it needs to be that tall.
I didn't realise.
Doesn't need a projector's bar, does it?
I didn't even realise we had that many old photos. That's the more modern lighthouse that was put up. Yeah, that's it up there on top of the. Yeah, that one's a bit higher up.
Yeah. Flagstaff Point.
Yeah, Flagstaff Point. That's it.
Height of 25 metres with an elevation of 40 metres.
Take out the word historic. Cut that. That'll give you
first fully automatic flashing light to be installed in New South Wales.
That one shows a pretty good contrast. Painting or? Aye. I don't know what year that was. That was put up a time ago too.
Hang on, I'll tell you exactly when that was built. Completed in 1936 by the Department of Shipping and Transport. Cost $13,600 with plant and equipment costing $5,214. There you go, Lighthouses of Australia.
Oh.
It's bicoloured. It has a white light of 4.5 second duration through 100 degrees and a red light visible through 80 degrees. This latter indicating reefs and headlands.
So you can see the difference in how low it is compared to the other one.
Yeah. So that other one is just sort of doing the breakwater and harbour, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's actually directing you right to the breakwater, more or less, sailing up and down the coast those days.
Mm.
The newer one, yeah, further out. Interesting.
All lighthouses will have a red part. That's to warn them that they're heading towards dodgy bits.
Mm-hmm.
Well, land basically, or low water.
Yeah. Well, reefs and headlands, apparently, this one.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Australia. Unfortunately, we don't get any reefs in England.
No.
Or do we?
So what's he getting wrong now?
Artificial.
Yeah. Yeah, they're called sunken ships.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a few out off the coast, up and down the coast here that's supposed to have sunk over the years.
So will they always draw a line to the base?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know who's presenting this yet.
That's not what.
I believe that's Rumpus, is it not?
Might be.
Rumpus, he's got.
Any news yet?
There.
Pip?
I think to get through this is pretty.
It's
very.
motherboard,
It's the
she's got another
most
one.
simple job.
Oh.
Utter.
Sorted one, I
Clearly
don't know
well
when
beyond
it is.
Leeds.
Oh.
A rumpus minute or a normal minute?
Intellect. I mean, it's just so simple. Right. So here we have a situation. We've
Yes,
got a guy,
perfect.
say 6 feet tall, say, and here we've got something that's about I don't know what 3 or 4 times his
So
size.
it's not to scale
and here-
already.
No,
better
it's the
than mine.
scale. It's the scale. It's the scale, you
It's not
moron.
to scale.
It's the scale, you moron. It's the scale, you moron. It's the scale,
Oh,
you
for
moron.
fuck's sake!
Right.
Giant fucking
So
man.
it's
then,
the
Rumpus.
scale,
What
you moron. Okay, I'll tell you what. I will make it bigger if you
How's
like.
he getting that door?
Okay, I'll tell you what. Okay.
You fucking idiot, Rumpus.
You've been schooled
Oh,
in 10
scale.
seconds,
That's
bro.
Imagine the size of the toilet in the lighthouse, right?
Well, whilst he's doing,
Clearly
whilst
not.
he's,
Right, now here we go. So right, so here we have an object that is
it's still not to scale.
below.
It's still not to scale. It's still not to scale.
You want me to make it to scale, do you?
Yeah, still here.
Wow,
Right,
you did
shout
not
out-
understand what
Shout
he meant,
out
did
to
you,
Ali B.
Rumpus?
Hang on, shout out to Ali B. Ask the panel who is an agent and what is the proof? No Wikipedia.
Rumpus
Ali
is
B
one
is a
and
fucking
these
idiot.
diagrams.
Fucking clown.
So
He's
here
been
we
doing
have
the
a
same shit for
situation
years.
which Ali claimed, idiot gleam moron claimed that an object that was below the observer. So here we have say this is about 2-3 feet high, and here we have someone that's 6 feet high. There is no possible means for this object, if you are above it. This is the key thing that Gleam clearly doesn't understand. I think Carlos mentioned it to him. If you are above the object, it cannot, under any circumstances, obscure more of the object than its height. It only does so when it is actually at the object. And if you want to, and then he mentioned
No,
something
that's nonsense. That's
So,
not true.
I'm
That's
showing
an
you, moron.
angular size
I'm showing
adjustment.
you, moron. This is
No,
the
that's
orthographic view here, and you can see that it cannot possibly obscure anything more
in
than
orthographic
its
view,
height.
but we see in
It's simple,
No,
visual.
no.
You can see this in front of your
I'll
eyes.
debunk this
you
straight
moron.
away. I'll debunk this straight away. Now move the
Absolute
lighthouse.
noise.
Wait a minute, now move the lighthouse. Go on.
The
Okay, I've
lighthouse
done that now.
about
Down here.
20 meters to the right.
That's what I've done down here. And
Yeah.
you
Yep.
can see if
Now,
I hold this proportion correctly,
Yeah.
it's still
Yeah,
cannot.
stop it there. Stop it. No,
it will hide
Stop
more
it.
No, well, I haven't
because it
got
keeps on shrinking in the
Yeah, well,
background.
maybe
Wait a minute.
I have figures. So
No,
if I
it
make it the
doesn't.
same size as the proportion on here,
Doesn't shrink at all.
They're talking about two different views of it, and he's
Oh my
bringing one view that
god!
you'd see into this view.
There is no perspective in an orthographic view. That's why we use things like orthographic views, because there's no distortion.
But it shrinks
Ones
in.
out there are far away.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
That's saying the close and far away thing.
Yeah,
These
good
are
old
small.
good old
Those are
Father
far away.
Close.
Matt, are you going to lurk out in Discord again?
Yeah.
Why?
You're going to be talking through
All right,
me then the whole time, so you know how I can fix that.
All right, I'll come in.
Yeah, I've only got.
Get your
I've only
butt in
just.
here.
I've only got to do this. There, look, that's fixed. He can't say anything now.
Oh.
I mean, he can talk. If somebody else goes in there, they can hear him.
Yeah, but we can't.
But we can't hear him out here.
Silence is golden.
But he's not saying nothing now. He's too scared. He's
Well,
scared.
why lurk out there when you just come in here? What's the bloody point?
Yeah.
See things in real time with no lag.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everyone that stays in Discord talk through me. And people think I've got schizophrenia or something because I've got multiple personalities.
It's just the voices in your head. That's all.
Oh,
Nothing to worry about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you get used to them after a while. I did. But yeah, this poor old Gleam. He just demonstrates his ignorance time and time again. You know, oh, here's an orthographic view, but this gets smaller due to perspective. No, it doesn't. Don't matter how much you want it to, it doesn't.
Come on, a bit more.
Yeah. So if I make that,
I've already made something which debunks it straight away.
I've left the man.
Were you born stupid?
You're the moron here.
He works at it. Very hard.
Were you born an idiot or did you?
You're the
graduate?
moron, Rumpus. You spent thousands and thousands of hours trying to swing back backwards into Dover and had no success.
If I go and do the same here and I make the bloke the same size as the little door and I put him back over here.
Yeah. Now move your arrow down and you'll see that the horizon line is compressed to hell.
Hold on.
Come
on.
Put
Where
him
the
back
weight
over
would be.
here. Right, and now the box. So the box here is about 1/3 the guy. So I'll go in here and I'll make the box 1/3 the guy's height. Here we go. So let's make
Keep going.
Guy. There we go.
I've done
Right.
all this, Rumpus, and you're just about to prove yourself wrong.
You can't do it. You're capable. You're a moron. Right. So let's move the thing
Just call me
down,
names then.
down here. Right.
Whatever suits your
Can't
soul.
do anything else.
Right. Here we go then. So now this is effectively much further
There's no
away.
difference
If I
in the
move
two
little
images
box,
doing the same thing.
And grab it here.
No, exactly.
I move the box.
Don't forget, you have to move the lighthouse, then double the distance.
No, because we're doing a much further away.
That's what
I've
people
kept
do
the
when
relative
they're losing.
sizes. I've kept the
That's what
relative
people do when
sizes.
they're losing
I've
an
kept
argument.
the
is
relative
they,
sizes.
Bro,
I've
don't waste your time with these morons.
relative sizes, but I've made the lighthouse much further away. And if you see here, that again, it cannot obscure anything. Hold on, let me finish the point.
There is no point.
Let me finish the point. It
Rumpus,
cannot.
even
Let
Globes
me
in chat line
finish.
just shut
Let
up.
me
Oh,
finish.
God.
Let me finish.
Painful.
Let me finish. It
Hey,
can
Gleam,
still.
by the way, I've got an
Let me
experiment.
finish.
Okay,
Let me finish.
yes, let him finish. Let him finish, because then I
Sure.
want to have a go. I want to have a go with this.
It still cannot obscure, no matter where it is on here.
Yeah.
It cannot obscure anything more than the 2. Well, say the 2 feet that it is. It's
Okay,
impossible.
right. So that's one datum point, yeah? So you've got one set of data there. Now what you need to do is move the lighthouse further away.
I've done that.
More
and,
again?
and
How much
wait a
further
minute
does
and
he
then
want it to
reduce it in
move?
its angular size.
Correct.
What is you want to move it off the side of the screen or something? To the next monitor.
Ridiculous. They don't understand how it works. They just don't get it. Or they do, but they just want to keep misrepresenting things to try and prove their bizarre point.
I hope Rumpus has done another image.
Any further, he needs
down.
to start factoring. If he goes any further to the right, he needs to start factoring in the curve of the Earth. You know.
He will.
What I did.
No,
I've done
you're
that.
not doing
I
that.
have kept proportions. I here effectively moved.
No, he said do it more.
No, I've done it already. Done it. I've demonstrated.
Rumpus,
do it more.
Rumpus,
How far
they
have you
want you
moved
to
it away,
reduce the
Rumpus?
size on the orthographic view. They don't
This is
understand how that works.
comedy, man.
Right, but don't you
This is
understand?
comedy.
We
I've
understand
effectively-
Look at the
all
size
this,
of
you
it.
guys don't
Hold on,
understand.
listen.
Gleam,
I've
get your
effectively-
drawing out.
Listen.
It's orthographic.
I've done mine
laws.
to scale. This is
Listen.
bullshit.
Gleam, get it out, man. Get it
Listen,
out.
moron. Listen, be quiet.
Randy,
I have
split the
effectively.
screen.
do is insult
Be
people.
quiet.
Split the screen.
Be quiet.
If
I
you
have
split the
effectively.
screen,
I
Randy,
be
you can
quiet. I have
Rumpus,
effectively done.
we're
Be quiet.
interrupting you. We're
Be
interrupting
quiet.
you.
I
We're
haven't finished.
interrupting We're interrupting you
Okay.
because we want
What's
to
your
hear
real
something.
name, Rumpus?
Poor Rumpus.
Geez, I know why I don't listen to him now.
Painful. He's got no idea how to communicate with people. I mean, I know he's trying to communicate with a bunch of morons, but even so, he doesn't do himself any favours. I think they honestly expect that lighthouse to shrink in size the further you move it to the right. They honestly expect perspective to have an effect as you move the lighthouse.
But not in orthographic.
No, of course not.
Professor Phil has a question. Is it me, or does anyone else think Gleam is one of the most insufferable pseudo-flares around? It's easy to tolerate a normal flare.
That's why I try not to have anything to do with him at all now, because he just winds
Not
me
you,
up.
Phil. Not just you.
His voice, his attitude, the whole thing. He's so smug. And his smugness is so misplaced because he's a moron. He's an absolute moron. He admitted he came out of school with nothing, absolutely nothing, and that's perfectly evident every time he talks.
Like his latest thing about the monocular perspective paper.
Yeah, that whole paper he keeps presenting is to do with perspective in monocular sights for robots and such like.
Yeah,
that's why they have trouble judging distance, because it's a monocular optical system. That's why we have binocular vision, so we can judge distance.
And that's why we have a brain to account for things.
Yes, exactly. So the number of times he's presented that paper, and we've all sort of said to him, "This isn't what you think it is."
Should I let Matt in now?
Yeah. He's going to behave. He's going to be a good boy.
Going to be a good boy? Going to behave?
Going to be a good boy?
Sit!
I'm sitting.
Good. Right, I'm nipping off to get Mum stuff, and I'll be back as soon as possible.
Righty-ho.
Okay. I'll see what... I'm just trying to skip ahead a bit. We'll see if... Next one is...
You moron, you don't know damn well.
Show us.
You
Okay,
know damn well.
I'll call you out. I'll call you out.
Want me to give you the formula for perspective, for instance?
Sure. I'll call you out. Have you shown us in the Black Swan anything about that mathematically, the actual density gradient that produced that image?
Well, I can show you the formulas for the curvature of light dependent on a temperature gradient. Yes, I can do that. Right.
Yeah, but that narrates the Black Swan. That's the point.
Does what to the Black Swan? I missed that.
You never needed that in the early days, Rumpus, where the visual horizon was always the geometric horizon, right?
No, exactly, Pete. Do you not remember, Pete? Pete? Right. Do you remember how I used to go on about refraction, and then Nathan would say, hold on, let me finish. And Nathan would go on and on and on about, they're saying everything's loomed up. Everything's loomed up. They're claiming refraction. And he would dismiss refraction and claim that we were saying that nothing was where it appeared to be, which is absolutely correct. Now, 3 years later, he's suddenly discovered refraction. We were always using refraction from day one.
No, you were not. I'm talking about before. Hang on. I'm talking about...
I'm talking about before.
Shut up and show your face.
Yeah. And old
listen. Wait. Let me finish. I don't think there's much more to look at. What are they showing here?
Rumpus, ask him in chat. Start posting in the internal chat.
I was respectful. And I used the super chat.
Yeah, you've made your point. So can we, before I go to bed...
Salute, Aaron.
Right.
Okay, Aaron, I'll have a look. Thanks for the super chat as well, mate.
Any favours, mate.
Right. Okay, thank you.
You're not doing anyone any favours.
No. All right.
So I'm just
thank you. That was more than 15 seconds, Aaron. Thank you. Right, Rumpus. Let's forget about what comes further in terms of investigation.
Thanks, Pete. You're crazy.
Well, well, come on, man. You made your point, and right. Just let me Rumpus. Forget.
Was Aaron bringing up something else again? That's what he does here.
So you can't have another one. So if I take away some air, put it in a jar, I only have some air. I don't have the atmosphere. The air is not the same as the atmosphere. The atmosphere is a particular collection, a particular amount of air that lives on the Earth. Therefore, air is not the same as the atmosphere. The air is a constituent of the atmosphere, just like sand is constituent of a beach.
So hang on. The beach has other components. Hang on, Rumpus. The beach has other components in terms of water. What's the other components of the atmosphere?
Oh my
God.
Say that
beach
again,
is
Pete.
not the atmosphere.
I said the beach has other components. The sand just doesn't make the beach. There's water as well, which would have to be present to, in terms of the definition of the beach. So when you're talking about air and atmosphere, what is the missing component, Rumpus?
Go on, Rumpus.
Now he's quiet.
And
I have an excellent question for Rumpus as well.
A grain of atmosphere. Let's see a grain of atmosphere.
Okay, well let's do these super chats before we carry on. So, Bebo for life. Mind of God, if an object is 3,000 miles above the surface of the Earth and 18,624 miles away, what angle will be above the surface of the Earth? Well, can't you just calculate that?
Well, Ranty, let me answer that in a maybe a little bit more sophisticated way for these ballers, okay? If we're on a sphere, right, we would have to use a tangent to define the base of the angle, so the distance away wouldn't matter. And then, the position in three-dimensional space, we could then compute an angle if we're talking spherical coordinates. If we're on a flat Earth, yeah, it's just the arctan, opposite over adjacent. We learned SOHCAHTOA in, I don't know what grade, 8, 7, 8, something like that. So I don't know why they're quizzing us. We run circles around these people. It's shocking, but cheers.
This from the person who didn't understand that a sun that was setting, he claimed, went further away and didn't understand the angular size of the sun would have to change. You are a moron, mind of God, an utter
Depending
moron.
what the sun is. Can I just have 2 minutes for Rumpus?
Two more super chats to shout out. So Aaron Armstrong says, "Wow, Rumpus, you couldn't even understand my point." And the Mind of God says, "It's an epic hangout, RFE."
Excellent. Give me 2 minutes with Rumpus, please.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm doing this for every flat earther out there. Rumpus, please answer honestly, right? If it was decided, remember, there's a basic question: what is the nature of this Earth? We see two things in essence, which is the ground and the sky, right? Now, if it was decided at the get-go that the Earth wasn't moving, would you agree that we would never consider the ball as an option for the shape of the Earth based on our universal experience with water on every level, and that we've all experienced, and that is flat when still? Would you agree with that?
No.
You wouldn't?
No.
He can't admit that he would agree with that.
Why would you not agree with that?
Well, I'm trying to answer, but Paige interrupted for some reason.
Okay. Why would you not agree with that?
Right. If you follow a line of longitude, for instance, going north, you see the Polaris going...
No, hang on. No, Rumpus. I'm not talking about... That's later on.
Can I answer?
Yeah, but that's later on. Forget about Polaris.
I'm going to answer your question. I'm going to answer it.
Let me clarify it then. You didn't get the question.
I'm going to answer it. Shut up.
Don't bring Polaris into it then.
You're not answering
now I'm going to answer.
Question, Rumpus.
Right, I'm going to answer. Right, so there are several things. Shut up, you stupid cow.
Rumpus, if you don't answer the question, you should be muted. Answer a specific question. Don't bring Polaris.
Yeah, dude, you can't.
Not yet. Anyway,
yeah, you can't use mass. Don't use mass, Rumpus. Don't use mass.
All right, dude, I'm gonna keep interrupting you, man. Don't say stuff like that.
Be quiet.
All right, but don't bring Polaris into it. It was a yes or no question, Rumpus.
Here we go. So there are several things about what we see that tell us that we're on a curved depth. One is
no, Rumpus. Hang on, please. I asked for 2 minutes here. Excuse me now. I'm asking the questions. People have given me 2 minutes. Rumpus.
Right. So there are several things in the Earth, in our environment, that we see that tell us we're obviously on a curved thing, and that is one, that when we go along a line of longitude, we can see that Polaris changed angle. Similarly, we know that the sun sets, which cannot happen on a flat Earth, it must only happen on a sphere. We also see that boats disappearing from the bottom up. There are three immediate things that come to mind there, as well as things like lunar eclipses, that tell us we have to be on a sphere.
Oh, like the lunar eclipses that happen when you can see the sun and the moon.
Correct, which you can do that.
The fact that water always lays flat and we use it in levels to show what's flat.
Goes around the sphere, it's curved, yeah.
The fact that the sun moves further away and in perspective you just...
We use water levels to check for flat.
Don't see it anymore because it's too far away.
And the sun goes away.
Which jet had removed me? Honest to God. Who removed me, Randy?
For all of those things. What Pete was asking was if no one had ever said anything to you about you being on a ball and you went to the beach and you saw the water and you saw water in...
And I listed 3 reasons why.
Someone kicked me out, right?
Yeah, I didn't see who did that.
I listed 3 reasons why immediately I would be able to determine we're on a sphere.
No, Rumpus, that's not the question to begin with. I have a further question.
How I would work out with a base starting point, knowing
Ranty.
How I would work out on a sphere.
Rumpus.
I told you.
Rumpus,
listen, that was just the starting point. I asked for 2 minutes, right? I asked for 2 minutes and some fucker kicked me out. Right, whoever that was, you little coward.
Yeah,
anyway.
Everyone's been kicked out.
Right.
Rumpus.
Who's that?
Ranty, just be quiet.
That's Aaron Armstrong. Fuck off, Aaron. Let me finish with Rumpus here. Shut your mouth, Aaron Armstrong.
I only
Rumpus.
want 15 seconds. 15 seconds
Right,
and I'm
go on,
gone.
so. Go on, so.
Ranty.
Go
I was
ahead.
banned. I was banned by
Aaron,
your
are you
chat.
drunk?
You was banned on the chat.
Yeah, banned by the chat. So that's why I've joined by voice. So
Take all
whoever
fucking
is-
wrenches away, Ranty.
Hang on, I haven't seen
So-
you banned from the chat. Hang on.
Well, I was
Are
because
your
I
feelings
tried to
hurt? Do you
super
want us
chat
to-
you to
what do you
ask
want
you
us
a
to do?
question.
Right. That's 15 seconds. I'm sure Ranty will unban you, Aaron. Rumpus.
No, wait a minute. You can't be banned
No,
because you can't super chat if you were banned.
There's no bans
can't
after
super
he
chat.
last
So someone
super chat.
banned me.
There's no
Oh,
nobody.
hang on,
banned you.
Paige.
I'm going to go to bed if I know this is going to come back just an
I can
admin
say-
problem.
Right, okay,
Someone
let me have a look.
banned
I'll have a look.
him.
I'll have a look, Aaron. Right, okay,
Right.
you guys carry on.
All right.
Yeah, I
So
don't
that's
know
what,
why
that's what
either,
I'm flagging
Okay.
to you, Ranty, is that
Please let me finish with Rumpus.
But
Please
ask
let
him
me
in
finish.
chat. Start posting in the
Don't
internal
I was
chat.
answer my questions
respectful.
with knowledge.
I was
well,
respectful
make your
and
point.
I
We
used the
understand.
super chat.
Okay, you've made your point. So can we, before I go to bed, I'll go
Salute, Aaron.
Right.
Okay, Aaron, I'll have a look. Thanks for the super chats
Right.
as well,
Doing
mate.
any favours, mate.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Rumpus, you're
Right.
not doing anyone any favours.
All right.
So I'm
Aaron,
just
thank you. That was
how
more
the
than 15
chats normally
seconds,
go
Aaron.
on.
Thank you. Right, Rumpus. Let's
Yes.
forget
Oh.
about what comes
Well,
further
if-
in terms of
Oh,
investigation.
my God,
Yeah,
bunch of
thanks, Pete. You're crazy.
Well, you
Go
had.
drink some-
Well, come on, man. You made your point, and right. Just let me, Rumpus. Forget about further investigation. I'm talking about the base level, sort of starting point.
What's the matter, Death?
Yeah.
Death is dying out there.
I like what our Stu's just put in there, Terry. William Shatner made more sense singing Stairway to Heaven.
William Shatner singing, that's quite something.
Yeah, well, they don't have any more presentation after that anyway. I just wanted to see if Aaron Armstrong was going to bring anything to the table, but no, he didn't.
Well, apparently they started talking about the virus.
Oh, no.
Someone-
I'm definitely going to stop it then.
Yeah, some idiot didn't understand how it kills you. Well, it stops you breathing.
Hey, do you
Anyway.
want to see what I have to put up with round here?
Meow.
No, unfortunately not. Hang on a minute.
Oh.
Let me just find the photo I just took.
Happy birthday, Mippet.
Where?
There we go. Look at the grand celebrations.
Wow, party on.
Yeah.
How sad is that? So this one's got bunting and balloons and a Union Jack, and they've got their gardens, a little brolly. My next door neighbours have put out 2 chairs to the table. I've also got to take my bike for a spin later on.
I put in Terry's
Oh dear.
other vids. They've got a video of all around the world what it's like under lockdown, and the majority of places are absolutely, just dead. No one walking the streets, nothing. Apart from a few third world countries where they're carrying on as if nothing happened. I think, oh no.
Well, I have to say it's so quiet here, just unbelievably quiet all of the time, because there's nothing going on at the circuit. There's always something going on at the circuit, particularly weekends. I mean, now that we're into May, I mean, but you should be hearing all the testing and everything going on during the week, and all the nutters turning up to watch the racing at the weekends. It's quite odd.
Yeah,
It
I
is
bet
very
they're
odd.
I bet they're living a life of luxury there at the moment. Cool. Listen, we can hear the birds. We can hear the traffic go by.
Well, you can anyway, but even so, it's just you don't get any of this. Oh, that sounds interesting. What's that going around the track?
Yeah.
Because in the distance you hear, oh, that sounds meaty. What's that? And of course you can't bloody see it, which just makes it worse.
Yeah.
But nothing, zip, zilch, nada. And apparently they think they're going to have it open for the British Grand Prix, but that's not until I think that's July.
Yeah, normally it's July or August, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's July. I think there's possibly a race before that. I think everything's scrapped up to and including the French Grand Prix. So we're not going to hear anything this month, and I doubt if we'll hear anything in June either.
No.
It's weird.
Yeah. I mean, all the track days are closed down.
Oh yeah, everything. I mean, Christ knows when I go paintballing again.
No. And I keep getting messages from my track day company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are more people out and about. I mean, you know, when I go out, when I drive across to Milton Keynes to do my shopping, there's more traffic. I was out on the bike yesterday afternoon. There was more traffic.
Yep.
People are, I think, getting to the point where they're saying, "No, stuff it."
Yeah. I'll risk it. I think it's not worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, it is still very odd.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find the timetable for our suggested VE celebrations.
Is that today?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I'd kept that pamphlet now that come through my letterbox. I just looked at it and thought, yeah, whatever.
Got a stingray video here I might watch.
That, I said, that's a very interesting video because it does highlight just how much wrong a flat earther can get in one video. You would not believe how wrong he is.
Like most of them.
About something that's 15.
Ah, here we go.
Earthers are getting desperate. I'll grab that.
So 3 p.m. People are encouraged to go out to their doorstep.
Last month we
raise
took
their
a
glass,
oops, sorry,
and cheer and clap, saying, "To those who gave so much, we thank you." Yeah, bog off. Honestly.
Time lapse with a solar telescope is more bad news for flat Earth.
Well, of course it is.
Grab that.
It shows that the sun doesn't change in size.
That's from Wolfie. Andrea around? Yes.
Hello, wonderful Andrea.
New dangers of life in space. Permanent brain changes. Astronaut brains change permanently.
Yeah, that's not good news.
I'll grab that.
Yeah, it's not good news about space travel.
Yeah. Of course, the vacuum of space, no gravity is going to affect your body. They've got to make those space stations spin around like on the movies, where it rotates and creates gravity.
Well, it does rotate, but very slowly.
That one. That one. Dark side of YouTube, the Butterfield effect. That goes for an hour. I'm going to watch Isaac for an hour. Bob the Science Guy's thing.
I see Australia question China.
Oh, we're not happy with China.
No, you're not at all, are you?
We want answers.
Yes. I know. I've been watching your news just recently, and I'm thinking, oh dear.
We want answers.
You're in trouble, China.
We're asking the questions, and you're not giving us the answer. And the what's his name guy from China that's over here, the ambassador or whatever you call him. He's not helping.
No. I noticed when you first put the ban in, China moaned about your trade and everything. It was going to cripple us, blah, blah. There's nothing wrong, blah, 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 blah. I'm glad Australia took the, early stage of blocking everything, because they hadn't. Yeah, I'd hate to think what had happened, but yeah, they'd done the right thing. So China's ambassador was wrong, completely and utterly wrong. I wonder where he is now. Yeah, there's some scary stuff coming out of this. Oh, you're more likely to die, twice likely to die if you're ethnic minority in Britain, apparently. Yep. Well, they're actually, the government are saying 4.2 times more likely, yet the press is saying twice as likely. So the press still can't read numbers correctly.
No, well, they never could.
No. So yeah, the death rate between the white population and the black population is horrific. Absolutely horrific.
Interesting.
It's scary.
Danny the Pratt thinks that meteors are angels. That's really out there, that one.
Tell him to go out and catch one then.
Yeah.
He won't think so much as an angel then, will he?
Andrea said, yeah, Australia goes ahead with the investigation, which we are. What do you mean goes ahead with it? We've been going ahead with it the whole time.
Yeah.
They're going to cut all trade. Well, that'd be good in one way, because that'll stop the Chinese coming over here and buying our land and farms and properties. Been a problem.
Yeah.
We used to trade with Japan, and we still get. I don't think we get as much stuff made in Thailand or somewhere over that way besides China. We used to get stuff. Oh, well, may as well get Anton out of the road. As soon as I can't see Andrea lurking here yet.
Yeah, she's there.
Hasn't posted lately.
What, Andrea Huddle?
Oh yeah, she's there.
Yeah. Hello, wonderful person, Andrea.
Just let us know when you step out of the room, Andrea, and we'll play Anton. Play that out of the road for now. Then we'll have a break. I haven't got a full panel tonight. I don't know where all the regulars are tonight. I don't know what Peter's up to and the others.
Yeah, I think Pete had been suffering a little bit, hadn't he?
Yeah, he said the weather's been getting to him. I nearly got it the other day because we got a bit of a cold snap. I had to put the heater on over night time here, but not tonight. Okay.
It's just started raining here, Terry.
Oh no. Gotta get these lawns mowed. I don't want it to rain.
My lawn's dying.
Well, you can have mine.
Only because I poisoned it. I'm digging it out, getting a new one.
Fred's saying snow. Jeez, where are you, Fred?
We have the chance of snow tonight.
Where are you, Fred?
Where the hell's Fred live?
Yeah. Fred, where do you live?
Himalayas?
Yeah, I was just going to say somewhere like that. West Virginia.
To be talking about new dangers we've discovered when it comes.
Sorry?
Oh, who's ScoMo?
Scott Morrison, our Prime Minister.
Oh, right, okay.
Hello wonderful person, this is Anton, and today we're going to be talking about new dangers we've discovered when it comes to living in outer space, and more specifically, living in zero-G conditions. Let's talk a little bit more about what NASA recently discovered, and welcome to What the Math.
Hello, Andra.
So in the last few years, we've discovered quite a lot of things about living on the International Space Station, and most of it is actually not so good. Basically, it's not really good news. We've already discovered there are some major physiological changes that humans undergo by living so long on the ISS, or basically in zero-G conditions, and some of these changes are a little bit scary. One of these more scary discoveries from last year, for example, suggested that inside our bodies, if we were to stay in space for a very long time, the heart would actually start pumping blood in the opposite direction, which can result in serious problems in our bodies, including, of course, losing consciousness and basically, possibly even passing out or worse. And we've also discovered some major changes in our genes that happen over time, a lot of which were observed during the so-called NASA's twin study, where these two wonderful people were used as, I guess you would call them, lab rats? Anyway, so we've discovered a lot of different things. And one of the bigger discoveries from the last few years is actually something related to the astronauts' vision. For some reason, most, if not all of the astronauts experience serious vision problems during their time in space. And in some cases, it even continues when they return to Earth. In other words, something may happen to human eyes, or something may happen to the part of the brain that's responsible for vision that causes these unusual health conditions that we actually refer to as SANS, which stands for Spaceflight Associated Neuroocular Syndrome. In general, SANS seems to be different for different astronauts. Sometimes it's just blurry vision, other times it's headaches, and sometimes it's something even worse but related to vision. And so trying to investigate what's happening here and obviously discovering the true reasons has always been sort of the priority for various NASA studies. And so by collecting data from 11 different astronauts, 10 men and 1 woman, over the past few years, the scientists behind this study may have finally been able to find the reason for why SANS happened. But they don't really have a solution to it just yet. So let's find out what they discovered. First of all, most of these astronauts stayed on the ISS for roughly around 170 days in total, so a pretty long time. And prior to being launched to the ISS, all of these astronauts have undergone a very thorough analysis, including the brain MRI testing, which allowed these scientists to have something to compare their brains to once they came back. Several more MRIs were done at several different periods, including 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and so on. And the main idea was to really investigate what's happening with the astronaut's brain as they spend such a long time in essentially microgravity, and also in relatively hostile conditions when it comes to, I guess, radiation as well. And the main hypothesis here was that something inside the brain, specifically the pressure inside the brain, was changing to cause these unusual effects. And so by analyzing human brain and by analyzing the brains of these astronauts, they were able to discover that it is indeed true. The brain size seems to actually change and increase by roughly around 2%, which is actually best demonstrated in this little animation they created using the brains before and the brains after. Here you can kind of see the actual volume of the brain slowly increasing. You can kind of see it again right here, it's slowly expanding this part of the brain. Now this is actually really important because the part that's being increased in size is actually related to something known as pituitary gland and also so-called cerebrospinal fluid and white matter, all of which increased by roughly around 2%. So first of all, the pituitary gland that you see right here, it's actually responsible for various hormones that are secreted by our body. These hormones often regulate things like growth, blood pressure, they also regulate sexual activity, water and salt concentration, metabolism, and actually quite a lot of other things. So the changes in this gland could produce quite a lot of various conditions, and some of them unfortunately could be detrimental to human health. White matter, on the other hand, is also responsible for, well, technically learning. Now, we don't really know how the increase in white matter affected these astronauts, but it definitely had some sort of effect. We don't know if it's positive or negative just yet, we just know that the white matter volume changed by about 2% as well. And as this video shows, also the volume of the so-called ventricles, basically the empty space inside the brain, where a lot of various cerebrospinal fluid is located, have also increased in size. And what's kind of scary is that these changes were permanent, more or less, and they were also kind of occurring even after the astronauts returned to Earth. So in other words, these are more or less permanent changes to their bodies, and we don't really know if they'll ever disappear. But their study also may have found the answer to the so-called SANS, the vision problems. So because the changes in pituitary gland and also just the general changes in the brain were physical, it actually increased the pressure inside the brain. And as you can see from this particular illustration, these changes in pressure here started to put more pressure on this area, which is actually responsible for vision in humans. So the increase in pressure very likely caused these changes in vision and basically caused all of these disorders we're observing when it comes to visual acuity in humans in space. The other explanation is that maybe the pituitary gland itself is actually also pressing against the so-called optic nerve, which does pass really close to the pituitary gland, and by increasing in size, that area sort of squeezes the optic nerve, causing other visual disorders as well. So in other words, there could be several different effects that are caused by all of this expansion inside the brain. Some of them might be related to brain, and some of them might be related to the actual nerves. But unfortunately, this is kind of troublesome, because if an astronaut starts experiencing vision problems on the mission, like for example, if we're going to Mars and the mission lasts for about 200 days in zero-G conditions, this might create a problem. If the astronaut is unable to see very well and starts experiencing blurry vision, for example, or is completely unable to see what's in front of their face essentially, this will make the mission to Mars or actual mission to anywhere extremely difficult. And since as humans, vision for us is the primary sensory apparatus, basically without vision, most of us really have trouble functioning, this means that any kind of a mission, prolonged mission in zero-G conditions, might need a lot of preparation and possibly a lot of different medicine and drugs. And because this study suggests that the vision will not improve even after landing on Mars where there is some gravity, this of course makes all of this a little bit more complicated. Now luckily NASA has been pretty busy at trying to develop solutions to this SANS problem, and one of them is a type of glasses that NASA astronauts can actually wear to try to improve their vision in space. Although they don't look as cool as the ones I just showed you, they look kind of like this. As a matter of fact, an astronaut wearing them does look pretty bad. But it's not always about the looks, it's about looking, right? It's about seeing things. And then there are also certain medications that can be prescribed to astronauts in space to try to improve their vision that way by also decreasing the actual pressure inside their eyes. This is a similar medication that's often used for glaucoma. But despite all of this, it's still kind of early to tell how safe it is for us to actually travel in space for such long periods of time and to try to land on other planets essentially. It will take a lot more experiments on the ISS to try to establish these safety procedures and to try to understand how exactly our bodies change, which seems to be quite a lot by the way, once we spend a long period of time living in zero-G conditions. But luckily, the ISS is going to be around for at least a few more years, and during that time we'll hopefully be able to discover what is it that we need for us to actually go ahead and start traveling around space in relatively safe conditions. For now though, that's unfortunately all we know about this. Check out the study I mentioned in the description below, subscribe if you still haven't, share this with someone who loves learning about space and sciences, and consider supporting this channel on Patreon because it does help me quite a lot. You can also support this channel by buying the Wonderful Person t-shirt that you can find in the description below. In either way though, come back tomorrow to learn something else. I'll see you tomorrow, space out, and as always, bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
At death said send all the flows to Mars with no beer.
No, don't send them to
Well,
Mars.
we've always known it ever since we've been doing this space stuff that there's been effects on your body when you come back. The studies that they have done previously, but the brain one, yeah, that's a new one.
Yeah, the brain is a bit worrying. Yeah, they lose their balance. If they've been up there for like 3 months, they got to learn to walk again when they come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't orientate themselves when they stand up and let people go. That's like someone's just spun them round and round and round and round. They just go all over the place. So yeah, we got a fair way to go before we actually start exploring the universe. Star Trek style. They did actually send a couple up to experiment regarding. Unfortunately, she never got pregnant, but yeah, they sent a married couple up to try it. But they're too busy. They never got a chance.
No.
Imagine being the first baby to be conceived in space. Is this why aliens have always got really big eyes?
And big heads.
Yeah, and big heads so they don't get...
Yeah, because they've always travelled in space. They're not...
Yeah, and their brains have just got huge.
Yeah. No muscular tone to their body and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. What, limp-wristed?
Which aliens are we talking about here?
I don't know.
The aliens in Alien seem quite vicious and very strong. The aliens in Predator, likewise.
Yeah. The ones in Star Trek can speak a different language.
Yeah.
Well, I should hope so too.
Yeah.
Better collect all these for Alan later. So he can edit these. That one.
Edit.
Edit, yeah. Put that one away. Okay, I can't do the voting in the peanut gallery like Alan can because it's Alan's. Has the control.
Well,
I haven't got a lot of videos. I've only got a couple here.
Scientific fact.
What's this, Fred? In space, you only have to push. Full motion will happen in response. But Wolfie, Simon, how about we leave Stingray for last?
Yeah.
Wolf goes for 10 minutes. He goes for 22 minutes. Oh, we'll play Wolfie then, get him out of the way. He goes for 20.
Have you got your microphone yet, Irish, do you?
Yeah. Where's this microphone, Stewie?
Have you got it yet?
How long ago did you send it?
Over a week ago.
Did? How far did it have to go?
Ireland, I think, if I remember. Yeah. Oh, I might be wrong.
I know Stewie was out there a minute ago.
Yeah, he is. He's in the side chat.
Why does Death keep getting show heights stuff for his comments?
Death Star Gate. Oh, he hasn't replied yet.
It's no wonder that Neil Armstrong didn't seem to bother to talk to anyone when he came back from the moon.
Not yet.
Minutes away from death's door and learning how to sit down again. I wouldn't be talkative. Okay. Not yet, mate.
Yeah. I still don't know what I should have done.
Would it have been quicker to ride over there on a motorbike than by the time you mail?
Yes, it would have done. I could have done it in a day.
That would have been a quick hoon across there. Well, the only bit that would have slowed you down is getting across the on
water,
the boat
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you could have drove around the island. Oh, the other island. That's the Isle of Man, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you could have stopped off there.
Yeah, it'd been nice. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to check.
I want to see you. I want to see you and Farmer on a motorbike together around Isle of Man.
Isle of Man.
I'm not taking my bike all the way across the Isle of Man. That would just hurt too much. Honestly,
Silverstone.
I went for a black yesterday, and I must have been out for no more than half an hour. I maybe covered 25 to 30 miles.
Yeah.
It was a good 10 minutes before my hands and my forearms stopped vibrating.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't know how anybody tours on the Dominator, because I once used it to nip back home and see the parents. That's about an 80-mile drive. Somewhere along the Bedford bypass, I had to stop, get off for 5 minutes, and let the pain subside. It vibrates, and it gets to the point where your hands are just white hot pain with pins and needles, and you can't feel your tackle because it's gone completely numb. And that's about halfway. That was about 40 miles, I think.
Where's the vibration coming from?
Well, the engine. It's a big old 4-stroke single. They vibrate, and it's got a balancer shaft to cut the vibrations down.
Yeah.
So I don't know how people tour on them, because if you ride for sort of 40 miles, it's painful.
Yeah.
It's literally painful.
Wow.
I might have to try and put some bar end weights in to try and cut down on the vibration a bit. It don't usually bother me because I don't usually ride it for any great distance. But if you do, bloody hell.
Is the vibration there right from above idle, or is it at a certain
Oh, yeah. Actually,
it's a tingle.
If you're sitting there at idle, you can't really use your rear view mirrors.
Okay.
Because it blurs.
That's a tingle, Terry.
It's more than a tingle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. After a while. Yeah, your hands feel like they've been...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite something.
Yeah.
That'd be like that feeling I get when I'm grinding with the grinder. And
Yes.
then I go to touch something, like when I come inside and I go to touch the keyboard, and the keys feel funny when I go to press them.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's called white finger.
Yeah.
It's sort of a weird feeling, that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's called white finger. It vibrates all the blood out your fingers, isn't it?
Yeah. And then when you touch something, it sort of feels funny.
Yeah, it feels like it's vibrating, or it's
something similar to that. Yeah.
Sense.
Just from the grinder.
Well, according to Herm's Irish Stew, it's on the way. 8:24, Wednesday, the 6th of May. Why it's taking so long, I don't know. Well, I suppose it's
he's put the gauntlet out. Come over here for a race. I'll show you some great roads. Well, I would, Stewie, but I haven't got a motorbike, and it's a bit far to get there.
Yeah, but as Doris said, I could drive 70 kilometres to my parents and back without problems, but that's 43 miles. Yeah, I can do 40 miles, but get much beyond that, that gets a bit much. It's not the most comfortable motorbike in the world. All it wants is at least one more cylinder, another 60 or 70 horsepower, and some modern up-to-date suspension that you can adjust. Then I'll
so you want a new bike then, you mean?
I'd love a new bike.
That's what it sounds like. Sounds like you might as well just get a new
one. Look, it's done me great. I've had it for 4 years. I've still got that Poxy Bandit sat there in the garage getting in the way that I doubt I'll ever touch. But I could do something a bit more modern. I mean, it is...
Bandit would be luxury compared to your... I'm going to have to come over one weekend and sort your Bandy out with you. He says, what? Really?
Yeah.
Not with Mad Beef all weekend? What?
I just quite. No. I just can't be asked. I really can't be bothered with it.
I can.
I can see why it sat in Matey Boy's garage for 10 years. Been sat in this one for 4.
I can be bothered.
Matt, if I was near you, I'd just hook the trailer up and we'll go over and steal it.
Yeah, we would, wouldn't we? And then we do have to do that. Was that car rescue or whatever it's called?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
We'll have to do a bike rescue.
Yeah,
start with a Bandit 600. I'm sure we can shoehorn an 11.
Yeah, but as long as all the parts, the rare parts, are there, because we wouldn't want to pick it up and take it to fix it up, and we find out we can't get certain parts for it.
There's no problem with parts, mate.
Oh, okay.
No, except genuine bodywork.
You can get everything,
Either your side covers and all that stuff.
But the whole tailpiece unit is held on with zip ties because the original connectors are broke off. Really annoying.
Mm. Yeah, they are annoying.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't be a problem. I'll soon sort all that out.
But you see, the problem is, if I did any work on the Bandit, I'd just flog it because it's got exactly the same problem. It's overweight, underpowered, it's got crap suspension.
Yeah, that could all be changed.
Professor Phil's remark, Flirfs are dumb enough. 6 months on Mars and the rocks will be smarter.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rocks would be in protest if you took Flurfers there.
They'll land on Mars and go, nah, Mars is flat.
Well, there is already a flat Mars society, isn't there?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Your parcel has been delivered and signed for.
You sure you got the right address?
Yeah.
I get that with the post office here sometimes, and that's when I know that within the next 5 minutes the doorbell's going to ring, because I've got one of the delivery women who lives almost opposite me. So what they tend to do is they'll wait until their shift is over. If they know there's a parcel for me, they'll wait until the shift is over. If it needs to be signed for, they'll sign for it. And I quite often get an email saying, "You've just signed for your parcel." And I think, no, I haven't. But within the next 5 minutes, she's going to ring my doorbell and say, "Here you go." Once it happened the first time, I realised what the system was. And I don't mind, but it was like, here, it says I've signed for it. Yeah, I signed for you. Oh, okay then. I mean, I don't mind, but the first time it happened, it was like, no, I haven't signed for anything. Nobody's here. And then the doorbell rang, and it was like, okay. I see how it works.
Yeah, your actual address wouldn't come up with that postcode, Stu. So just try your neighbour. I think it's A. Your number plus A. I think you'll come up to. But it says, your parcel. What? I don't make this out. It says it's with your courier. Wednesday, your parcel's on the way to you today. 12:06, Wednesday, 6th of May. Your friendly courier will deliver between 3 and 7.
You're able to
try your neighbours. Try your neighbours, Stu, because it has been delivered.
Take a screenshot of that and DM it to him in Discord, so he can see what you got.
That's... Oh, wrong one. No.
And while you're doing that, I'll play Wolfie.
Going to look at another all-day time-lapse of the sun taken with a hydrogen alpha solar telescope. And I did this yesterday because the weather was great all day and I was able to film the sun from shortly after 7 AM right through until sunset. You may recall, almost 2 years ago, I did a similar observation with the same telescope. What you will notice though is that the sun appears a lot smaller in the earlier video than it does in yesterday's one. And the reason for that is because I'm using a different camera on the telescope. I'll talk about that more shortly. So here is the telescope and mount I used in the all-day solar time-lapse. The telescope is a Coronado SolarMax 3 70mm hydrogen alpha telescope, specifically designed for viewing the sun.
That sounds expensive.
The mount is a Celestron AVX equatorial mount. I've had it for over 3 years, and recently I just pulled it apart to reset the gear mesh, just to remove any play in declination and RA. So that mount is again working just like new. And the telescope has a dual speed rack and pinion focuser, which allows you to focus it very precisely. For coarse quick focusing, you use this black knob, and then for fine tuning, you use this gold knob. The camera is a ZWO ASI 183 MC color camera. It is a perfect match for this telescope as it is one of the highest resolution cameras that ZWO makes, and at 4K resolution the sun is framed nicely. So when you first start using a dedicated astronomy imaging camera on your telescope, the choices can be quite overwhelming. There are numerous different models, each with different specifications and sensor sizes. And it can be quite difficult to understand which is the best camera to buy for your specific telescope. So aside from choosing which telescope you need, you also have to get a camera that is going to match the telescope to give you the results you desire. Now, in my earlier observation, I had a 294 MC camera, which is a great camera on a powerful telescope, but on the Coronado, with a focal length of only 400 millimeters, the field of view is quite large, and that is why the sun appears small. To help decide what is the optimum camera to use, we have this field of view calculator on the Astronomy Tools website, and I'll show you how we can use that now. So this field of view calculator allows you to test various combinations of telescopes and astronomy imaging cameras on different targets to see how the field of view is going to frame your object. If you select the wrong camera for the telescope, you could be quite disappointed with the results. Here I have selected the Moon, a Celestron 9.25 SCT, which is my largest telescope, and if we choose a camera with a very small sensor, what we're going to see is only a very small portion of the Moon. Here we have the ASI 120, which has a very tiny sensor. You can see that the focal length of the telescope is 2,350 millimeters. Now, if we add to the view, this is going to show us what the Moon will look like with that combination. As you can see, the magnification is too great. You can't see all of the Moon. If we choose a very different camera with a much larger sensor, something like the 294, we add that one to the view and we remove the original one, you can see a lot more of the Moon. To see all of the Moon, we're going to have to go to a lower power telescope. Something like the Skywatcher ED80. And there you can see.
Oh, even when it went too small.
All of the Moon. Now that's probably too small.
Yeah, that's
so
too
again,
small.
we can try different
Try something
cameras.
in between.
And with the ED80, I found the 183 works very nicely. So it's a very useful resource to
Can't
help
we
you
get one in
decide
between?
what is the optimum camera to use for the various different telescopes. In addition to that, when you select the camera, it will default to the maximum resolution the camera is capable of. If you have an extremely high resolution camera, such as the 183, you can set the resolution manually in the software. And if we set that to 3840 by 2160, which is 4K resolution, and add that to the view, you can see it is just about perfect. And that is the combination that I used in my time lapse. A 400mm focal length Coronado telescope with an ASI 183 camera set to 4K resolution. And that's what the frame looks like. And there you can see it's pretty close. So I'll play the time lapse in full at the end of this video. It goes for more than 10 minutes, but I just want to explain a few points. The camera was taking one photograph every 2 seconds all day, and that was compiled into a time lapse at 30 frames per second. As the sun was getting close to setting, I changed the capture rate from 1 frame every 2 seconds to 2 frames every second. So it was 4 times faster. And you'll see that as a definite slowdown in the movement of the clouds as the sun was about to set. Additionally, this timestamp is in UTC. So to get the local Sydney time, you need to add 10 hours. So for example, when you see 0033, that's actually 10:33 local time in Sydney. Now what you'll notice occurs just after local noon, around 12:07 local time, is a meridian flip. And I have discussed the meridian flip previously. Let's take a quick look at it now. So in a previous video, you may recall I described what the meridian flip was and why it is necessary on many equatorial mounts, depending upon the design of the mount and the size of the telescope. If we're tracking the sun, this mount is moving at a steady 15 degrees per hour. So after 6 hours, it's going to change orientation by 90 degrees. As the sun crosses the meridian, the telescope is going to be in that orientation, and as it continues to track the sun in the afternoon, there is a possibility that the telescope will impact the base of the mount, which it has done there. Now, to prevent that from occurring, what the telescope does is a meridian flip. So when it reaches this point, when the object crosses the meridian, it will reorientate itself, swapping the declination and the RA axis by 180 degrees to pick up the object again in this orientation. And that way it can continue tracking with a telescope well clear and above the mount. Now this little ioptron mount will do an automatic meridian flip. This one, the Celestron, it won't. I had to do that manually shortly after the sun crossed the meridian. Now if you don't do anything, it'll go to about 20 degrees past that and then just stop, and it just won't track any further. So as you'll see in my video, the meridian flip occurs shortly after local noon. Now one point to note is the orientation of the camera on the telescope after it does the meridian flip. I have set it up deliberately so that the orientation of the camera is up in relation to the North Pole. So if we had the camera at the North Pole, it would be in that orientation. We can move it to any location on the Earth and keep it in the same orientation of up as we had at the North Pole. Now this is the whole point of an equatorial mount. It is to allow the telescope to track equal and opposite to the rotation of the Earth, and thereby keeping it pointed in one direction. And it also explains why the polar alignment angle varies by the latitude of your position on the Earth. At the equator, your RA axis is going to be horizontal because it is rotating in that axis. At Sydney, Australia, we are 34 degrees south latitude. You can see that the camera is still rotating in the same orientation that it would be at the North Pole, but now that is 34 degrees angled upwards towards the south. So as you can see, this camera is at the same orientation as it would appear at the North Pole, and that's going to have a very interesting result when the Earth comes into view as the sun sets. Try to imagine what angle you're going to see at that point. So if we keep the camera oriented in the direction of up at the North Pole and change latitude as we are filming a sunset, you will see the angle of the horizon as the sun sets changes according to latitude. As we move south, crossing the equator and into the southern hemisphere, it changes significantly. And from Sydney, Australia, at south 34 degrees latitude, when the sun sets and we see the horizon, it should appear at that angle. That is precisely what we do see because we live on a globe. And this is an observation I have been planning to do again for a long time. It was just a matter of being home with the free time and with the weather cooperating. Fortunately, yesterday they all came together, and my good friend Wes Wally was kind enough to send me a short clip of the image from Himawari 8 confirming that we had good weather in Sydney all day yesterday. Just one final point before playing the time lapse. You probably won't see it in the time lapse, but if you fast forward the 10 minutes within a few seconds, you can even see the very slow rotation of the sun itself. After the meridian flip, it appears to be rotating in the opposite direction because the camera has done a 180-degree orientation change. But there you can see, moving that slider back and forth, we are in fact seeing very slow rotation of the sun itself.
I don't even think they acknowledge that the other planets rotate, Death.
I don't think so. I mean, it seems that their get out now is just say, "Oh, we don't know." We don't know.
We can't see too far, or something like that.
No. Yeah, it's all they've got left is nonsense, literal nonsense.
Yeah, they don't use telescopes; they're just lights.
I don't know.
Just dots in the sky.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
What's a telescope? I don't know.
That's what I was getting from Matey Boy yesterday in Jose's hangout. Don't know what it is. I don't know. I've never been there. I don't know. Yeah, but you seem to be confident what it isn't.
Yeah.
Well, they'll claim it's man-made. Therefore, you can't use it.
No, it's not natural. Eh?
And how do you know that's the sun? Have you been there?
Exactly.
It's just reflection of Polaris. There's the portal to another dimension.
No, it's a reflection of Aristarchus.
I ain't drinking just yet.
Apparently, Arctic Reflections just nailed Oakley again.
Oh, yeah.
That wouldn't be hard.
Which way do you mean he nailed him? Because you could take that a different way.
Yes, that. Oh, yeah, that's true.
To the cross.
Yes, that has several interpretations, doesn't it?
Yeah, bloody Holmes. I think I'm going to have to start using a different. That's the third parcel they've messed up. I don't know how they get it so wrong.
How big's the parcel? Bigger than a shoebox or smaller than a shoebox?
No, it's about. I don't know how big they are. How big are they? Let's see. About size 6 shoe.
All shoe boxes are the same size.
No, the shoe, not the box.
Oh.
Left its door yesterday. Did it need signed for? I thought I put signed for on it. I can't remember.
Are we gonna
try your neighbour, mate, because that's where they've delivered it. Great, aren't they?
Are we going to watch the next 7 minutes of just this?
No, I think we know what it's going to show us.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just the sun. More sun. More sun.
No, signatures not required.
More sun.
Hello, casual.
Where?
You're wrong.
Where's casual?
In the side chat.
Oh, is he? Oh, we can whack him. He's grey.
Job done. Oh, Mippert's got there before us. Hint, hint.
This is no fun. When you don't have a spanner, you can't see any of this.
Oh.
Not
Hello, casual.
Hey, casual spacehead.
How come it isn't changing?
Weird effects of the sun. Must be setting or something, or a cloud.
Yeah, it's getting close to the horizon. You're getting a bit of refraction there, aren't you? Distorting it.
It was smaller than the packet 26. No, it's bigger than that. It's probably king size is probably two king size packet of cigarettes tall, and about a little bit wider than a packet of cigarettes.
I didn't see the sun get smaller.
No.
Set.
No, it's because
it was same size.
Oops. Finger slip. Sorry, casual.
What happened? Oh, Mippet, what'd you do that to poor casual for?
Yeah, it is in a plastic bag with duct tape holding it together as well. And that was wrapped in cardboard with bubble wrap as well. Yep, left in the plastic bag.
Casual over on Discord? No.
It was an accident. Of course it was, Pip.
And when Wolfie tracked the sun from sunrise to sunset, I didn't see the equatorial mount curving in an arc from above or below.
Terry?
Yeah?
Can I put an official complaint about Mippet, please?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, she whacked me for no reason.
Yes,
there you go. I'm
Mippet.
surely.
I can't do it. I can't physically do anything, but I'll take it under advisement and I will report it to the appropriate people in time.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That's it. You're in trouble now, Mippet. You're big trouble, miss. You big trouble.
Well, Alan's still online, but I can't annoy him at the moment, so...
I told teacher on you, Mippet.
You home today, casual, by the sound of it?
Yeah. I have to stay at home, unfortunately. I've got a couple of symptoms.
Oh, no. You don't want that.
Yeah. Cough and a sore throat.
You've been sick ever since Christmas.
Oh, geez, tell me about it. I always just pick up viruses anyway, so, probably isn't coronavirus, but, still, I'm not allowed to go.
You might be allergic to work.
Probably.
Ah. Hasn't come yet. Oh, that's a bit... it's got your name on the package, so the neighbour would know it's yours. I can't really miss your name.
What, Mr. Chumley Walnut?
Well, it's gone to the guy that plays really wicked guitar, so they must know who it is.
Mr. Chumley Walnut, Esquire.
Ooh. Carl nearly got you as well, Spaceman.
Oh, yeah.
I have to go and make my own coffee. I'll be back in a minute.
Right.
Oh, Casual's gone again.
He was there.
Yeah, he's gone. He's done a runner, mate.
He's over in Discord.
No, he's gone.
Oh.
he wenteth.
No, I
don't know where.
I reckon he'll be back.
I'll be back.
Do you want me to play the video while I'm making the coffee? That way I don't have to do anything else for now. Oh, what have we got?
Hello, Demon Orb. Hello, Peter.
Yeah, Peter's out in the peanut gallery.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch Simon.
Righto.
Look at the channel called Woketown and their video which was supposed to convert us all to flat earthers. Clearly that didn't work, so I thought I'd take another look at his channel and see if I can find any more examples of him not understanding physics. And wouldn't you know, I found one.
Yeah. Hello, Carl.
Hello everyone and welcome along to another episode of Flat Earth Friday with me, Simon Dan. Thank you very much for joining me. Yes, Matt Long is back and he's using his expertise in tennis, yes, tennis, to prove to us that the Earth does not spin. Has he figured it out, or is it more misunderstanding from a flat earther? Matt, the floor is yours.
So I wanted to do a video on the spin of the Earth and how it should wreak havoc on a sport like tennis.
Havoc, you say? What? Right, let's see, shall we?
Now, some of you may or may not know, I have a pretty extensive tennis background, played for about 25 years now.
But do you have a physics background?
Played in college, played some lower level pro stuff.
Yeah, but did you do some lower level physics stuff?
Even as recently as this last year when I traveled to Japan. I did a spoof video on this topic on Facebook a few months ago when I was playing a tournament in Vegas, but I wanted to go a little bit more in depth into it right now. So tennis players in general are extremely meticulous. They practice the same shots over and over and over in order to minimize the number of variables they're dealing with when they play their sport.
Couldn't agree with you more on that one. You only have to look at some of the world's best to see that.
Now, of those variables, they could be things like wind, they could be things like the speed of the court, humidity, altitude, even the brand of the ball will change the way a player may approach the way they prepare for a match.
Yep, no problem with that whatsoever.
And one of the ways that they do that is by changing the tension of the strings in their racket. So here's Roger Federer talking a little bit about it.
26, 27 kilos. Depending on the conditions of the speed of the court, how hot it is.
So it's not uncommon for Roger Federer to get 5, maybe 6 rackets strung after every match in order to have his instrument as precise as he possibly can.
This is a very large intro, isn't it, for his probably very weak argument?
Now, one of the things you'll never hear a tennis player talk about having to adjust for is the spin of the Earth. Let me explain.
Oh dear, Matt. Oh dear, oh dear. Come on then, explain.
Now, scientists and teachers will tell you that our lack of experience of a sensation of spin is a lot like tossing a ball in a moving car at a constant speed. But that's actually only half of the equation. It's...
What? I'm sorry, I just got back. I just caught that sentence and it didn't make no sense to me. A sensation of spin is like tossing a ball in a car.
Yeah, he's exaggerating it ever so slightly.
It's called a false equivalency.
Yeah.
More similar to tossing a ball in a car at a constant speed while going in a continuous circle like the Earth supposedly is. Much like this exaggerated example right here.
Exaggerated? I'd say if you drop a ball in a car that is moving in a circle, this is an example of inertia. The ball continues on the trajectory it was going whilst you in the car move off in a circle. So the ball appears to move sideways. When it comes to the deviation on the Earth's surface due to the Coriolis effect, we're talking about forces involved here that are nowhere near that of a car turning in a circle. Is that some intellectual dishonesty from you there, Matt?
So you can obviously see how the ball is affected by circular motion of the car.
Yes, which
But
is
why
not
isn't
the
he
Earth.
playing with flat?
Now, I'm
flat
here on a
balls?
tennis court, which is supposedly in a circular motion of its own, okay? This court is supposedly traveling about 1,000 miles an hour that way because of the spin of the Earth, okay? That comes out to almost 1,500 feet per second, or about 1 mile every 4 seconds. Now,
It's not traveling
that's in the horizontal
anywhere,
direction.
mate.
We are
It's
also
turning.
moving in the vertical direction because of the circular spin of the Earth. Now, curvature math comes out to about 8 inches per mile squared, okay? Which means that
Per square.
in 4 seconds, like I talked about, we will have changed 8 inches up or down, depending on your reference point. Now, because of the squared relationship, that comes out to about a half an inch every second.
What are you babbling on about? How is the speed of the Earth's rotation related to curvature?
This is the guy that
So,
got on a plane.
standing on
to
this
go
court
play
right
in
here.
Japan.
Yeah.
Right. He got on a plane to go to Japan to play tennis. Yet he's claiming the Earth is flat. I wouldn't want any lessons from this guy as a tennis professional. Why is he using flat balls then? Why is his ball round? He might as well use flat ones, mightn't he? Using his logic.
I think I'm going to have to tell Alan not to let Pippet have a spanner.
Oh no, she's not.
She's a bit trigger happy.
She's getting trigger happy. Oh dear.
Well, she doesn't. She did it on my channel a couple of times. So
Here, if the center line was your reference point, that means in 1 second, this side would be a ½ inch higher and that side would be a ½ inch lower. Here's an exaggerated example of what I'm talking about. So here's our tennis court, and as the Earth spins towards the east, you can obviously see how compared to the center of the court, one side goes down and one side goes up.
Sorry, hang on. Is he for real? I think... Right, 2 secs.
Simon Dan.
Creaky, hey, how you doing, my buddy? So you know Matt Long from the YouTube channel Woketown?
Oh yeah, the tennis guy.
Yeah, that's him. Have you seen the clip of his tennis court on a tennis ball thing?
I have as it goes, yeah.
Is he serious with that one? He must be joking, surely.
Well, yeah, of course there's a tennis court the size of a continent on the top of the Earth.
Yeah, I was just checking. Unbelievable. As you were, mate. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Hello, it's me. Yeah, he called me babe.
That was the worst. And I've seen a lot of flat earth demonstrations.
I'm going to try really hard. I want to be as honest as I can. I want as much of this water to stick to the surface of this basketball as I possibly can.
The worst flat earth demonstration I have ever seen. Amazing.
Yet I don't experience a difference playing on this side as opposed to that side, or if the court happened to be oriented east-west instead of north-south. And here's the thing, this phenomenon should be different depending on where you're located because the Earth spins at different speeds depending on which latitude you're located on. Yet
yeah,
you don't hear
but
about
do you
the
realise how
Minnesota Golden
insignificant you
Gophers
are,
tennis
mate?
team going down and struggling against the Miami Hurricanes because the speed of the Earth is 40% faster in Miami than it is in Minneapolis.
First off, the deflection of the tennis ball caused by the Coriolis is minuscule anyway. Assuming that the tennis court is north-south facing, of course, then deviation is given by the following equation, where delta x is the distance travelled, omega is the angular velocity of the Earth, lambda is your latitude, and v is the velocity of the object concerned. Now, let's assume that the shot is travelling the length of the tennis court, which is 23.77 metres. We know that Minnesota is located at 47.2 degrees north. And we know the angular velocity of the Earth is 7.3 times 10 to the minus 5 radians per second. The velocity of a tennis ball when struck during a normal rally is about 100 kilometers an hour, or 28 meters per second. Now, putting all of that into the equation, we get a total deflection during the shot of 0.0011 meters. So basically 1.1 millimeters. Hardly something to worry about, is it? Now for our friends in Miami, putting all of that info into the equation, they get a total of 0.64 millimeters. What a huge difference.
In closing, Rafael Nadal can't go back out on the court until the labels on his water bottles are adjusted the way he likes it. Dominika Cibulkova can tell you where the tennis balls are from based on the way that they smell. These guys are unreal at what they do, and they are as tuned in as any athlete or scientist for that matter into the variables that affect their craft and their environment. And the spin of the Earth simply isn't one of them.
Yeah, we know, because the effect is so small you wouldn't see a difference. Oh, here we go. He's going to show us some skills. Ha! Blates hit the net. I bet that's why he cut it short. Bless him. Well, there we go. A thoroughly poor piece of reasoning from Matt Long there of the channel Woketown. Trying to use tennis to prove that we don't rotate. What will you come up with next? Trying to say we can't take a dump because the spin of the Earth means it will go all over the side of the toilet? Please. Right, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching, all of you. If you enjoyed it, then please do like and subscribe. It'll be thoroughly appreciated. I have been Simon Dan. Have yourselves a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you all on Tuesday for the return of the numbers guy. See you then.
So who's this guy? He's somebody we have heard of before.
Yeah, a dickhead.
Woketown. Okay.
That's it though. They just don't know the formula, so they don't do the calculations. They just assume that it's going to be visible, and they're wrong.
That's a pretty big tennis court on the Earth, wouldn't it? How would you play on that court?
Yeah. That'd be a hell of a serve.
You'd have to have big balls.
Hey! It's always a winner when you can get an AC/DC referencing. Well. Hello. I think I've got some flat earthers nearby.
Why? What happened?
They've constructed some goalposts.
Oh, you better go out and ask them are they flat or level.
And they're that small that you can quite easily pick them up and move them.
We got an ice cream van. Just put his tunes on.
Oh, who made me coffee? Didn't put sugar in it. Bugger. Oh.
Yeah, sugar is bad for you.
Yeah. Even though I use raw sugar. But all we've got left is stingrays to watch. I heard that.
How many wrong things to make a flat earth?
Anybody want some nuts?
Sensible was live 12 minutes ago.
Oh, was he?
No, is he live on Discord?
Was he doing another test?
Yeah, we were doing it. There wasn't much I could help him out with, but I was there for moral support the other day. Live in Discord. He's trying to work out Streamlabs. There's a few people that have been trying to work out how to use that Streamlabs.
He's live. Yeah, he's live right now.
I'll go and bag him out. Call him Mr. Sensitive.
Resize the windows. It's very flaky.
Here we go. I'll put in the side chat.
Alright, I'll just drop it on top so you won't see me at all. That's a blessing, but I'll keep the chat to one side. Okay, so that's going to stream through to you guys. So if I log in.
Oh, that's if he's reading the peanut gallery.
Here it is, Mr. Sensible.
I log in, it's got me logged in. There we go. If I have a look at my alert box.
Smiley face.
This is a horrible screen. Absolutely horrible. So I can
you got to have the hearts
a subscriber.
What have I done?
Hearty eyes.
It sent the alert and it hasn't appeared.
Which ones?
Heart eyes.
Done nothing.
No,
go to the subscribers. There's that cat image, and as you see, it says no sound. So if I change the media, let's change to a stock sound. Say that one. Oh, I'll switch on the desktop audio. Try that again. Okay, so it's got that sound. Bits 500.
Peter,
so
you can't say hello to me until I say hello
orchestral
in there.
500. Check it. Yep, all good. Save settings. Saved. Okay. So if I now... I'm trying to think what way we might do it. Let's look at something else. Then come back to the alert box. Was that on subscribers now? Yes. Oh, it's still got the sound there. So that's looking good, isn't it? So if I save those settings again, there's nothing to say, now push it over to OBS. So let's go back over to the OBS.
Yeah, I did look in the chat.
Where are we?
Peter?
Back over to OBS here. Test the widgets. Subscriber. It bloody did it. Hold on, I'll transition that. Well, slap my ass and call me Shirley. Right, let's try.
Hello, Shirley.
Let's try. You guys are going to see what I was going to do in a few days' time, but never
Shirley,
mind.
you can't be serious.
You are my friends. So
I've got Glad Chris over there. I've got everyone over there.
Okay, we'll select that. Let's turn the volume up on him. Try it again.
Hey there. A brand new shiny subscriber.
Okay, I'll save those settings. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing.
You can't,
save those
now
settings.
you can see that.
And let's do another subscriber test. No, it hasn't gone across. Unless it takes a while. That's weird. Tutorial time. Have you turned it on and off again? There it is, Terry. Yeah. Yeah, bloody weird. Actually, I'm going to switch on the sound so I can listen to myself. Because
I've been waiting for him to give me my spanner. Bugger.
Sound definitely came through. No, it hasn't gone across. Unless it takes a while. That's weird. That just played the old sound. Tutorial time. Have you turned... How weird. Let's try another one.
I'm gonna shill us being over there.
Yeah.
Right, it's just playing
how do I
the
do
old
that?
sounds. So let's go back to...
I have to do that to do that.
Streamlabs. If I come out, let's log out and log back in again. YouTube. That's the only option I've got, is to log in as YouTube. Okay, so where were we? Alert box, subscribers. There's the cat, and it's gone back to that orchestral 500. But you saw me change it to.
I'm back.
Hey
there.
there.
Hey,
Hey,
Brand
Pip's
new
back.
shiny subscriber.
I don't know if I could put it in there.
Sorry,
Let's try
Dora, I was
that,
doing a
test
bit
it.
of behind the
there.
scenes.
Okay,
You didn't want
it's
to see
looking
what I was
good.
doing.
Brand new shiny subscriber.
Sorry, I keep forgetting to transition. So I've just put that sound back in there
Hey
again.
there. A brand
It's
new
definitely
shiny
there.
subscriber.
Save it. Let's
Lots
just
of Shirleys
log
here.
straight out. Where is it?
Stop calling me Shirley.
Log out. Log back in.
How many people's he got watching?
Have a look at it
Oh,
again.
he's got 36 watching.
Yeah, it's 36 of us.
It's lost the sound.
Hello, Mr.
It's just
Sensible.
forgotten it.
Well, it's 37
Just
of
won't
us.
do it.
Was he trying to start his
No
OBS or
sound.
something?
Let's save that.
Must not
I
stream.
can't
I thought he was
see
playing with
if
Streamlabs. This isn't Streamlabs by the
Well,
look of it.
if that's gone across, there's no sound.
He was
So
trying
test
something
that.
last night as well.
Yeah, I was doing Streamlabs. We were doing Streamlabs the other night. I was watching him do that.
Oh dear.
He couldn't get his sound to work from
It's gone
Discord
across
at
as
the
no
same
sound.
time as YouTube.
So it's straight away, it's
Ah,
learnt
right,
that.
okay.
And I said, you might need a banana.
Actually, I'm just going to watch the stream, see if it came through to you, because
long
sometimes
as
no
it's not blue
sound.
banana.
Let's save that. Sorry for the delays. Wrong
I'm
file.
going to
It's
see
a WAV
if
file. It's a WAV file,
that
Demon,
will-
and you
if
saw
that's
it
gonna
play.
cross,
There's no sound, so we'll test that.
Why am I hearing double?
Blimey. Oh dear. God, sorry, waiting
I was
just for
hearing
this to come
double,
through.
weren't it?
It's gone across as no sound. It didn't play
So it's
sound.
straight
Straight away, it's learnt no sound. Okay, so let's
Why am I
switch that
hearing
back on
double?
again.
Don't know.
Actually, I'm
That's
just going
'cause
to watch
he's
the
playing
stream,
at
see
the
if it
same
came through
time,
to you,
isn't
because
I've
sometimes
got,
no
it,
sound.
I've got my sound
Let's
turned
go
off
back
on the
to
video.
this
Oh,
thing.
right.
So we definitely, yeah, it says no sound.
We can still hear him.
I just muted the video.
Oh, it's probably.
Sorry,
your
Carl.
video.
Did I ignore you? I didn't see you, Carl. Where were you? Here or there?
The sound in, new
Hey
subscriber.
there. A brand new shiny subscriber.
Selected. And it says it there. New subscriber.wav. I wonder if it's complaining about something stupid like just uppercase WAV.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Because
Hey there.
it
A
plays
brand
it, so it
new
recognises
shiny
it.
Subscribe.
He's having fun. We'll get back to what we're doing. Oh, you were lurking over there, Carl, were you? Where? Where are you? I can't see you. Oh. What were we doing? We were trying to do something. Oh, that's right. Okay. Damn. Damn headphones, I have to change the battery. I'll play this and then we'll... Oh, while I change the battery. See what Stingray's gonna do about flat earthers. I thought he was going to be a wannabe flat earther. He was trying to be.
Nah, he's just cratting about.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll see what this is all about. Ratios you got this running at? I don't think he's running that at the right ratio. Is he on an Apple?
Of course he is.
That might be why. Look at the ratio it's coming out. It's not even going full screen. And I can't change that. If I go to scene 2, which is what I usually use, if I want to do it that way, I want to use YouTube scene. It's not fitting it into the window.
Oh yeah, if it's Stingray, it'd definitely be Apple.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking. That's his problem. That's why it's not full screen.
So this is quite
Yep.
interesting.
Look,
I
not
came
even full
across
screen.
this video
I don't even think I could
by,
fix that.
Rude Earther, who I like to call
Theatre
Wide Boy,
mode,
or
maybe.
Wide Rude Boy, because that's the way that he talks all the time.
That's not
Extremely
going to help.
cocky video about seeing something.
No, it's fine.
18
Yeah,
miles
okay.
away. Look at this.
Yeah, but
Amazing.
it's not.
And it's just
Not
it's
right.
interesting to see
They
how
will
many
see out
things you
on
have to
YouTube.
get wrong to conclude that the Earth is flat. So first of all, the
Oh, how
first
do you get
wrong
it back
thing is
there?
concluding that there is 18 miles. But how would you get there? You'd need a calamity of wrong things before you got to that 18 miles.
Yeah, that's theatre mode.
There's something very interesting.
Yeah, it looks
about
good
all
on YouTube.
Is in doing this
Yeah, but
research
it's
and
not
finding out
how it's
where he
supposed
is
to
and
be.
all this kind of stuff, he had all the
I'll leave it
information
like
there
that, see how
to
it
work
goes.
out that he was wrong. All of
Yeah.
it. All that information. The biggest telltale sign is the fact that there is a horizon
Got the volume okay?
at all.
I'll
It
be
should just
back
fade to
then.
nothingness on a flat Earth, but that's neither here nor there. So the issue that we've got is these ships are sat on the horizon, which is clearly not a plausible thing at his supposed height of 16 foot. So we have to figure out, well, what went wrong. Now, luckily, he did go over it with Ranters, on Ranters. So if we have a look at this, we see that they went and they had a look at the ship. Here we go. They're discussing it. And Rant even goes away and says, "Well, hang about. These are the ships that you're saying they are." And he's a little bit off on the ship on the right. He doesn't quite think it's right, and rightly so, because this here is a chemical oil tanker. This here is a cargo ship. This is another mistake. Same with this, chemical and oil tanker, and cargo ship. So you have to get so many things wrong to actually conclude that the Earth is flat, and this is just one of them. Now, one of the interesting things about this is if we go back and have a look, let's say, at the original map, he claims to be stood here, looking in this direction, which is cool. And he even sees the ships there in the distance, and then holds up his phone with the direction on it. Can we see this? 1 degree north.
1 degree north.
Well, hang about. That can't be right. Because according to the map, according to this map that he's got here, how is that 1 degree north when north is up in this map? That's a bit weird. So you've got to get that wrong as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't work out
Obviously is a little bit terrible. So let's have a look at this calamity of errors then.
Rude Earther.
Off one of Ranty's shows.
Then we've got these
Yeah,
ships
if it's
here.
off Randy's
It was
show,
on
that'd
Randy's
be.
show, but it was presented. It's a video done by Rude Earther, I believe.
Oh, right.
Yeah, these two.
He's saying it's
The
1 degree
actual
north. It
ships
clearly shows it isn't.
that they say they are. They misidentify. They say container ships.
Even I know what
the
1
way that I
degree
went
is.
round
That's not
about
1
it
degree.
is if we look here, we've got a time that he went out and did this, so around 5 o'clock. Now there's something
Well, I
that
can't
I
see
noticed
the orientation
in
of
this,
the map.
in this video, especially when he was zooming in. I noticed these ships aren't moving. Neither are they 3 miles apart or 4 miles apart like they would be here. They're not moving and they're at anchor. And this was only yesterday. So is it possible that they're still at anchor? Wait a minute. So rather than saying what they think this ship is, and the two looking nothing like it, let's go find out what ships they actually are, because this one's still at anchor. We go over here and we have a look at this, and we see the Ganges Star. Look at this. Okay then, so let's have a look at this. We have a chimney with blue, white and blue, and then we have a crane and the white here, and it's the Ganges Star. Now, very interesting thing here is we see the white, we see the logo, we see the blue. So just again, the white, the logo, the blue. So now we've correctly identified the ship, and the fact that it's still at anchor. It's a bit weird because at 16 foot high, looking out over this, give or take standard refraction, would expect the horizon to be 6, maybe 6.5 miles out. This could be a little bit over the horizon. It could be a little bit in front. It's hard to tell. I would say it's a little bit over. So what kind of distance do we have here?
Oh my goodness. 7.2 nautical miles. With refraction, quite easily, we could see this. And we can see that it's distorted as well. So certainly not 18 miles. And this one here, on the right-hand side, is actually even closer. So let's have a look at the name of what they say. The Aldebaran J. And again, they say it's a container ship. Awesome. And we have a look at the Aldebaran. So let's go over here. Also, yep, this is the one on the right now that they're looking at. Can you see how the decks have this stepped effect and the fact that this is a container ship? Does this look like the decks are stacked like that? And does it look like it's a container ship? The answer is absolutely not. However, if we go all the way over here to where it's docked currently, it's called the Salt Jaeger. It was actually anchored slightly in front of the Ganges Star yesterday, but it's moved on. So let's have a look at the Salt Jaeger. Let's have a look at this. We've got this column. We've got the bow where it's got this this white pillar, this white post on it. But we see these two columns and a crane and the S. Oh my goodness! Wait a minute. Let's have a look at Rude Earther's video here. That he says it's this one. Can we see the columns? Yes, we can. Can we see the two sections to the name, as in the Salt Jaeger, rather than the one name that they say it is? And no, it's not 15.9 miles away. This is actually in front of the other. So let's pause it there and have a look at these two big columns and compare. Oh my God, this is it. This is it. So how to correctly identify vessels and not claim perspective. Even the S. You see the S there on the smokestack? Sorry, the chimney? Well, the S is there on the side on this vessel. And it's exactly the same configuration. And it's moored in front of in a different position. Now, if we look at the position where the current Almere is, and we do well, how far is this? 6.74 nautical miles. There you go, from the beach. How easy is this to do properly? And would we expect to see them, or is it plausible that we see them on a curve? Yes. One of the important things on Rantis, though, is he said there were no other vessels there at the time. These were the only two, and that's how he identified them. And that is absolutely fantastic, because you identified the Endeavour and the Aldebaran 18 miles away, correct. But there's a reason why you couldn't see them, and you identified two that are actually anchored close, as in 1/3 of the distance. The reason you couldn't see them is they were not visible from the beach. Cheers.
Yep. Really was quite impressive just how much he got wrong in that.
How not to identify a ship.
Yeah.
Good old Ranty.
No, it wasn't Ranty.
Oh, sorry.
It was Rude Earther.
Oh, Rude Earther, that's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wrong Earther.
And I think he then presented another video, probably the same milk, on the Ranty show last night.
I expect Ranty was praising it and everything.
More than likely, I don't watch it.
No, I don't. But I've already caught Ranty out before, last year, with his stupid videos he puts up and then blatantly lies where he was actually standing.
Oh dear.
Well, that's your lot for the videos. We'll keep these streams a bit shorter than normal.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to bed, Mifford? Okay. It's past your bedtime. Only 10:30.
Oh my god.
Mr. Sensitives is still going.
Snark, I have done. I've done this.
Hey there.
And that's it.
Brand new shiny subscriber.
That's just a test trigger of the alert. But at least it's connected and it's updated from Streamlabs. We got to the bottom of that issue. But yeah, I'm going to kill it. I'm going to start again. Maybe I'll see you a bit later on this afternoon. Let me see if I can run my outro. I'm going to say thanks very much, guys. Take care and see you later. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you listen to all of it. I'm just going to stop strong.
Very considerate of him.
Yes. I'll have to look into music and an outro. Fine. When I come back to go on live again. Not for now though. Okay, I've put all those videos away for Alan to fiddle. Don't forget to watch my latest video when you get a chance. Last video was... I think that's the one I watched earlier today. Over in Discord. Oh, Gloves Are Off Part 3.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you're quite right, Professor Phil. The problem with full flat is they're always going to be wrong because the Earth is not flat.
That goes for 32. That goes for 32 minutes, Phil. Bit of magnetism and things in it too. I think I've seen something. Electromagnetism or magnet.
No wonderful person, Andrea.
Oh, I will let it go at that. Yeah, don't forget to watch Professor Phil's latest video. You could have nearly broke it up into part 1 and 2, Phil.
You ever heard of Stephen Anderson?
Nope.
He's a biblical flat earther. I've just discovered him.
Oh.
He's fucking stupid. Oh my god.
I had enough of Rakia life yesterday. He's a full-blown religious hard.
Yeah, he is.
So he quotes the Bible and uses text out of the Bible
Oh,
to
yeah.
prove his narrative? Okay.
I must go back and watch Jose's stream from yesterday because I asked Rakia a question and he refused to answer it because of his religion. And I can't remember what I bloody asked him. I think I'm sure it was something connected with the ISS or satellites or something. And he couldn't give me an answer because it clashed with his beliefs. But most of his answers are, I don't know. And then he'll start quoting you stuff out of the Bible. It's like, no, I'm sorry, the Bible is not a scientific treatise or anything. If you're starting to quote the Bible in these arguments, you've lost. I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't use a storybook as evidence.
Correct.
No, you can't use nursery rhymes to prove anything.
This Stewie, play John Stock's video. I will be performing
Dance to the
Dance
Steel
of the
Toes.
toe-cap boots later.
Yeah, they're probably quite appropriate for your neighbour, wouldn't it, Iris, too?
Stock's video.
Shouldn't that
I
just
think
be fair and square?
I think I've seen John Stock's role. Where was
He claims to be a Christian, but he gambles. Yeah.
it? Dance of the Knights? Is that the one you're talking about, Stewie? That's the last one I've got here that John's put in.
Yeah, Vroomfondle, that he was arguing that the moon wasn't this side of the firmament or outside of the firmament, it was within the firmament, which apparently is a different location, which just goes to show that, as I said at the time, you've got to be careful when you keep making up bullshit because you have to remember what you said beforehand. It's like lying. Once you start lying, you have to remember the lies you told, otherwise you soon get caught out. And Bearded Devil was all over him yesterday because he was contradicting himself left, right, and centre. That's the problem when you start talking bullshit. You have to remember what bullshit you said before. Because you can guarantee that other people are listening and paying attention.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah. Yes.
Yeah.
And
it is particularly ironic with the dome and the firmament because they've said it's a complete mistranslation and misinterpretation. The firmament is just what they call the heavens above. It's the sky.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's not a solid physical barrier. They're talking about the sky.
Yeah. Up above.
Yeah, we know that. You know that, but they don't.
Yes, and yes, Andrew. He was stating with 100% certainty that there is a dome, because that's his interpretation of the Bible.
Yeah, well,
and all those stupid questions about the friction of the atmosphere, the higher up and lower up you go, and all the rest of it. It just that's why
which interpretation are they using? The latest interpretation of the Bible, going back to the original interpretation of the wordings that was translated. That's the argument I have with them. I said, yeah, you're using a word that was translated in a different context to what was written in its first place.
Yeah, Brandy's got it. You could hear him smile when he answered. That's why I kept calling him a troll, because I'm sure he is a troll.
What's this Sleeping
Most of them are.
Warriors?
They're all trolls.
Has anyone watched a Sleeping Warrior video? It was nice
No.
knowing you, Ranty. I don't know what happened.
If you're gonna play him, I'm gonna go outside.
No, not playing. I'll just ask him.
Oh, that's all right.
No, I haven't. Let me just. When did that come out? 2 hours
about
ago.
2 hours ago.
Yeah, so that came out whilst we were doing this. No, I haven't watched that.
So he's not going to talk to Ranty no more. He spat his dummy out again, has he?
He won't talk to him, but he'll make a million videos about him.
Oh yeah.
Ranty says he'll delete. Emails. Ranty says he'll delete his channel. Bye bye, Ranty. Nice knowing you. Cheers. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, because Sleeping Warrior claimed to have emails from this Sam Hain and what have you, and a few others. And Ranty said they're fake because Sam Hain said he only ever emailed Ranty. So why would Sleeping Warrior have emails from Sam Hain if he never sent them to him? Oh, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Sounds a bit Days of Our Lives type story stuff that I don't worry about.
It sounds like this Sam Hain's a bit of a troll.
Yeah, but he's the one who keeps super chatting Ranty these huge sums of money.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's real money. Ranty's has got large sums of money from him in the past.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It sounds like he's a troll that would do that sort of thing just to put the cat amongst the pigeons.
I have to admit, if I had that sort of cash going spare, yeah, that'd be quite good for a laugh, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Although every fibre of my being says I wouldn't give them the dirt from under my nails, let alone actual cash. You know, but I see how that would be if you've got the cash going spare. You think, yeah, okay, this is good for a wind up. Yeah, unless of course Sam is a sandwich short of a picnic. Who knows? It's just nice seeing all of these characters who have been as thick as thieves and and all pals and buddies and all the rest of it, and now they're trying to tear each other apart. Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Off you go.
So once they get not getting anyone debunking their stuff as much as they used to, and they've finished coming out with their crap because they've gone full circle. They can't give us any more what their narratives are, and they start infighting and arguing amongst themselves. Well, yeah, let them go.
Yeah, I mean, you've got some of the diehards. Nathan Oakley still keeps banging on about the Black Swan. Christ knows why, because every man and his dog has debunked it. But you're now starting to see a resurgence in moon landing hoax theories. Because I think they've realised that they've pretty much exhausted all of their arguments for the flat Earth, and everybody seems to be banging on about the moon again at the moment. But they're just going around the same old stuff time and time again, and it's like everything that you're claiming is easily debunked. I mean, there is such an overwhelming abundance of evidence that the Americans landed men on the moon. I mean, the Russians got there first; they just didn't get men there. They were close.
Close.
The Russians landed probes on the moon. They landed rovers on the moon. They've got their own samples of moon soil from the moon. The only thing they didn't do first was land men on the moon.
Yeah.
And yet nobody's saying that's fake.
Yeah, don't you think the Russians would be the first people to state quite clearly that the Americans didn't go to the moon?
Race. Yeah, the height of the Cold War. If the Russians knew from the get-go that it was fake, they would have been screaming it from the rooftops.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. But there's so much independent evidence that had nothing to do with NASA, that had nothing to do with the USSR, as was at the time. There's so much other evidence out there of people, picking up radio signals, seeing this stuff and taking photos through telescopes and seeing all of this going on. That would have been so difficult to fake.
Yeah, but what happened
to Russia's,
But what happened to Russia's space race? Because they were going to get into
money
going up as
money.
well. But
money
wasn't.
not so much money. I think they realised that once Apollo had happened, and certainly Apollo 11, I mean, they had sent an unmanned version of what they were going to use. I think they called it the Zond, and that had gone around the moon at least 2 separate occasions. So they were gearing up to send men to the moon. Their lunar lander was completely different to the American one. It was quite possibly going to be just one guy in it, and it was less than half the size of the lunar module. They were ready to go, and I think the Americans beat them to it, and they thought they were struggling a bit, and I think they thought, what's the point? Let's instead concentrate on building the first space station, Salyut, and that's the way they went. They were more convinced of doing low Earth orbit research than going to the moon, so that's what they concentrated on. They just sort of changed tack and thought, okay, what's the point? We've sent things to the moon. We've brought moon samples back. Let's concentrate on doing science a bit closer to home in low Earth orbit. Let's get space stations up there.
Yeah, what's the truth in the space shuttles that they built that they were going to send up?
Yeah, I think they built 2 of their own little space shuttles, but nothing. I haven't read up on that one too much. Nothing much came of it. They still exist somewhere. I think they're sitting in a scrapyard somewhere.
Yeah, they had an argument between the top scientists as why their space program went to shit.
Yeah.
And the bloke they put in charge.
Politics and
the bloke they put in charge didn't know what the hell he was doing. So it all went tits up. The bloke who started it all, they got rid of.
Yeah, the Russians were good at doing that.
If they kept the original bloke, they'd have probably a lot further forward. But
yeah,
they changed the design of some rockets or something. I can't remember now. I was reading about it. Yeah, and they kept having lots and lots of disasters, and yeah.
But of course, in the end, and it has been the case for several years, if any Americans wanted to get into space and get to the ISS, They have to get aboard a Russian Soyuz spacecraft to do it. It's the Russians that have kept the American space program running for years. I mean, the very first part, the initial module of the ISS was launched by a Russian rocket. But everybody says the Americans won the space race because they got men on the moon first. Well, yeah, that's the only first that they ever did.
Yeah.
The Russians beat them to everything else.
Yeah, I'll type that out for goodbye, Greet. Goodbye. Alan's not here.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Elmo. Thanks, Farmer. Thanks, Pip. Back from the shops. Thanks, Mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm back from the shop. Had my lunch.
Yeah, we're back. We're going back to Discord for coffee and cake. We're not making these streams run too long. These
Okay.
now. Tomorrow night we'll see what ancient technologies we can get into. I think we're up to what are we doing? We're doing shields or something, but we're doing
No, you're doing carpentry.
carpentry. That's right. We're going to get in. We're going to look into some more carpentry tomorrow. See what else we can find.
And hopefully the stream will behave itself.
Well, the OBS, the OBS is working fine tonight, so.
Cool. Yeah, it's all seemed to work.
It must have been just a glitch in between when I was swapping scenes and moving around, but it seems to be okay now. Yeah, it's working fine.
Premiere on mine tomorrow at 7 GMT.
Oh, okay. I'll put a reminder for that.
Oh, that's the Ladybird guide to was it dating? That should be good.
Okay then. Thanks in the peanut gallery here. We have Brainy, Huey, Carl, Andrea, Boggs, Death, Scott, Fred, John, Broomfondle. Oh, here we go. If I missed your name, sorry, because I'd have to scroll up too far. Hopefully, see you all tomorrow night. Say good night, Peanuts.
Good night, Peanuts.
Good night, Peanuts.
Night, Peanuts.
Night, Scotch Diamonds.
I was waiting for that, Elmo. I knew you were going to say